shit. We are live. The legend. That's right. The legend from the nether realm. That's right. The legend from Outworld is here. The Mortal Kombat gaming legend, Mr. Joshua Gray. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing fantastic, PhatSamuraiGuy. Thanks for having me. We had a lot of fun on Nerd Wars. I humbly respect you, and I look forward to sharing and talking about these two films, my friend. Congratulations on growing your channel. I've been watching it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. And your channel is growing as well, man. So, you know, we got to show the love back and forth. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's how a healthy community grows, right? Got to look out for each other.
You notice I haven't been back on Nerd Wars since because I'm scared I'm going to get my butt kicked again by the legend. No, I'm just kidding. Do you know how to switch over to comments? Can you see the chat's comments?
Yeah, I can see chat right now. I see Omni Blast, Brad Movies. I see Sexy Sumo.
Oh, shit.
Getting me excited. Jeez.
Acno in the house. Acno Goji. That's right. Gilbert Berger. That's right. Movie Dojo Army has arrived. That's right. And see here. It looks like so far chat has been, looks like they're pretty positive on both films. There we go. What's going on, Gilbert? All right. Got 15 people here. So, a little bit earlier, you were mentioning, before we got started, you were mentioning to me about doing yoga.
Yes.
So, for a guy as big as me, my big ass, do you recommend yoga or DDP yoga?
Why not both? I have a story about DDP. You want to hear a story about DDP? So I'm in LA, right? Driving down the highway with 3 other guys.
Yeah.
Minding our own business.
Okay.
And the driver keeps looking behind us. His name is Jeff.
Yeah.
And he goes, guys, I think Diamond Dallas Page is behind us. And we all turn around and there's a black Mercedes SUV cruising right behind us. And we all at the same time decide to do this.
Oh.
And he does it back to us while we're on the highway. And we're like, oh, yeah, DDP. Yeah, so dope to Diamond Dallas Page.
Oh, that's awesome.
Representing, man. Going 65 miles an hour. Listen, when it comes to yoga, so I've grown up doing all sorts of martial arts, Taekwondo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, football, baseball, basketball. I've done it all. Yoga's the place to be.
Okay.
Yoga's a place to be because it's inward strength and it's flexing so many muscles and stabilizing muscles.
Okay.
If you can do it in a hot room, great, because you can be more flexible.
But
when it comes to my recovery time after lifting weights, running, etc., it's so much faster. I feel less tired. I actually feel now if I don't do yoga, I get irritable. That's how much of a change it's made. So I highly recommend it. Recommend it.
All right. So you hear that, chat? I'm going to be starting some yoga soon, and if you don't see me in a while, you know what happened. All right.
I mean, Samurai, I've seen gentlemen bigger than you in the classes, and they get all the benefits from it. So
you've seen me on the next stream with Josh. Yeah. I got an arm in my a sling over here. Anyway, movies. But yeah, man, I'm glad you are here for the Is It Really That Bad challenge today, and I wanted to pick 2 of these. One I've seen years ago when it, you know, and I enjoyed it. And the other one I completely bashed, dogged it until I finally gave it a shot today.
Oh, snap.
This is fresh, right? So we got enough people here. We can get it rocking and rolling here.
Sure,
so,
yeah.
First up, hold on. Let me get the banners up here so that way chat knows.
Yeah, shout out to chat.
People that are coming in late, they know what we're talking about here. So, booyakasha, boom. All right. So, we're going to start with Pandorum. Now, I remember horrible posters. I remember just a poster, and I was like, what the hell is that? Like, it didn't really tell the audience what that is. And I just was like...
Yeah, it looked like the sequel to The Cell, maybe. You had no real clue what it was, except it's a thriller, afraid, maybe something about space, but that's it. But it had no marketing campaign because it didn't have a marketing budget.
Yeah.
They blew the whole budget on the film itself, which is why it struggled with the marketing campaign. Yeah. And it came out just after...
Do you remember a trailer coming out? I don't remember a trailer.
I don't like when it said Ben Foster and Dennis Quaid, I was like, if you put me in a room and told me, hey, for $5 million, tell us the name of the movie that those 2 actors starred together, I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
But you know, it's funny in Hollywood. I've worked in Hollywood for over a decade, on the fringes, in the gaming world, but you get to see and talk to a lot of different people that work in the scene.
Right.
And when one studio approves a script, it starts to cause a chain reaction amongst other studios going, okay, if they greenlit that, maybe successful, what other scripts do we have that's similar? So you have Event Horizon, which came out in 2007, which still haunts me. That movie is crazy in a good way.
Yes.
Probably
I think that's
one of the
Anderson's
scariest films.
best film.
Yeah. But the same creative people, including Paul W.S. Anderson, produced Pandorum as well. So one super successful as part of our cultural nightmares, the other nobody's seen. And that's kind of the history of this film, So even that I found fascinating doing research about it.
And some people consider Pandorum to kind of be not a real sequel, but what do you call
spiritual,
that? Spiritual sequel to Event Horizon.
Spiritual sequel,
which is kind of
it even
fun.
lines up with the timeline. Because the timeline is they're trying to figure out interstellar space in Event Horizon, and then about 100 or something years later is when the Elysium is built for them to go out into space to go to Tanis, I believe is the planet name.
Tanis, yeah. So chat, just remind you guys in the chat here, we are going to talk about spoilers. We're getting into spoilers. Is it really that bad? Is spoilers? So just giving you guys a heads up.
So yourself warned.
Yes, but if you are not familiar with the plot of Pandorum, I'll just read the basic one, and then I'll have Josh take over if needed. But the basic plot is you got true crew members of a spaceship wake up from hypersleep to discover that all their colleagues are missing. Despite this, it appears that they are not alone. That's the basic plot, but there's a lot more to that. Sometimes IMDb plots are like horrible, but I just wanted to get that out there for chat.
Well, it's a work of art when you have to succinctly detail what to expect from the film, but not give anything away.
That's true. But yeah, I really don't remember any trailers.
No,
I don't remember any TV spots. I don't remember any of that. And then I came across it, I think, to rent. And that's when I was like, what is this? I'm bored. I'm not doing anything. Let me go check it out. So I rented it, and I was like, where the hell did this movie come from? Like, I was so perplexed and just like, how come I never heard of this movie? How come no one's talking about this movie? Am I lost? Like, I was lost.
Well, that's how it's generated a bit of a cult following. It's because of that. But that's what happens when you don't have a marketing budget, and it also gets lost in a bit of the noise. Ben Foster is a very intense actor in a good way. Like, when he's on camera, I'm expecting him to really give it his all. 3:10 to Yuma, that performance, whenever I hear the word posse, I think about Ben Foster. So that to me clued me in, like, okay, this guy does good work. Plus they got Dennis Quaid, so they had to get some other star to get the financing for the film. Right. If both of these actors believe in the script, there has to be something there that would make them say yes. Yeah,
I agree. And I for a long time now, I've been telling people that Ben Foster is like one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood. No matter what movie he's in, even if it's a small role, he steals the role. You know what I mean? Like in 3:10 to Yuma, and also in what is it? Hell on High Water with it's Hell on High Water, right? With Chris Pine and Jeff Bridges.
Yeah, come on,
he was
kitty.
great
What are
in
you
that
doing?
too.
You're stealing the show here.
Yeah. Who's that?
This is my kitty, Selena. She's named after
shit.
Selena Kyle, Catwoman.
Nice.
She's
hey, Selena can hang out. It's all good.
Yeah.
But just kind of briefly go over the movie's plot points, Josh, if you don't mind.
Sure. So, I mean, if you can imagine being woken up from cryospace, I mean, if you ever had surgery, it's kind of that feeling of like, oh, where am I? What happened? How long has it been? And no written instructions of what to do next, because they're supposed to be there. So they have a tattoo on their arm that signifies their flight crew. And the flight crew is supposed to rotate every 2 years during this 123-year journey, right?
Right.
So you're supposed to be relieved by your flight crew member, and the tattoo is supposed to say 4 because their tattoo said 5. So the tattoos are key with this. Not the case. Ben Foster wakes up, doesn't know what the heck is happening. There's power surges going through the ship. So your worst nightmare is coming true if you've ever played a video game like Dead Space, back
Yeah.
back on Earth.
Dude, that first game, I'm only played and beat the first game, and it freaked me out, man.
It's still the best one, in my opinion.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Two has some moments that haunt me. 2 is like 1 and 2 are like Event Horizon to me in terms of haunting. 3 turned into too much of an action game. But there's a scenario, and the other person that wakes up, that's finally able to wake up, is Dennis Quaid's character, who's older and with a beard. So you think, okay, he must be the one in charge, right?
Right.
And then you got 2 guys trying to figure out what's going on, but they know what the mission is. They just have amnesia about what kind of was their life beforehand. There's glimpses and parts and pieces, and the amnesia really plays into the whole plot of the story for all the characters that
and
are
they
released.
Slowly remembering things throughout the movie as the movie progresses. They start remembering things, which was interesting. Now this actor here, I mean, it's okay if we jump around. We can have fun.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
This actor here that's behind Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, the guy
who's basically the younger Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
Basically.
So, I mean, this goes into the title, right? Pandorum, which is space madness, essentially.
Right.
I mean, we all kind of learned about that on Ren and Stimpy. but that's what this character represents. And now the thing about it is you have Dennis Quaid who, funny enough, he's like, okay, Ben Foster's character, you go out there and figure it out. I'm going to sit here and I'll be your man in the chair. Yeah. But he's keeping the system on. And what I did really like about the movie and the production design was how much they use kinetic energy to power stuff. Because that was like, oh, great, cool. But if we have that, why can't we have written instruction manuals? Like just writing. Because I was in the military, right? I was in the Air Force. You have stuff that's printed. Like even in the pilot seat, you have a printed manual just in case everything digital shuts down. So not having that, I was kind of like, okay, well, it serves the story. But when that character showed up that you mentioned, Gallo, he was so clean shaven. I thought, I don't think this dude's real, man. Who crawls through ventilation that far with such a clean shaven face? Yeah,
but the actor, not that he was bad in this, but I have not seen him be in like an impressive role. Like, wow, that guy. And like all the movies I've seen him in.
What else have you seen him in? Because he's so chiseled.
He's in a movie called Priest.
Priest.
It was another Is It Really That Bad episode, and he wasn't the star. He was like the sheriff in the town. But it starred Paul Bettany. He's like
Bettany,
a vampire.
Yeah. I remember Paul Bettany being interviewed on Jay Leno or something. They were talking about how he had to be in the gym for 2 hours to get that type of ripped body.
Yeah,
every day.
I believe it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, luckily for this movie, his acting's fine. Like, he's serviceable. But I just wanted to point that out. I don't know if you've seen this guy in other movies. And it's like, you know what, that guy, I know he was in Twilight, but this movie, is like, I haven't seen him in any movie. I have not seen the Twilight movies. But I'm just using that as an example.
Well, for somebody that's cast like that,
I'm just curious.
He just felt out of place. And there's sometimes an actor there's nothing they can do. It's just the essence of who they are, and it doesn't fit with the rest of the crew, or he just looked too clean cut. But that was a choice because he was part of his psyche, right? So
it worked. I guess it worked.
It worked in the creative choice, but I think also you just didn't get a good vibe from him right when he showed up, right? Yeah. So there's really no type of arc for his character to go through other than the downward spiral of madness. Yeah.
But he was just it's like he was whiny in this movie and he was whiny in Priest. Like, stop fucking whining, man.
You gotta tell your agent, can I get a script where I'm not whining? But if it pays the bills. It pays the bills. If you're typecast, you gotta go where the money is sometimes, man. That's how it goes. But what was your first reaction when you saw that hand come out of the ventilation shaft and stuff?
Well, I did not expect what the end result was going to be at all. I just thought he was just another crew member, that was lost or whatever. Because the way Dennis Quaid was posting up, like he's about to fuck him up. So I was just like, what's going on? Like, who is that guy? What's going on? And, did he end up getting out of his stasis chamber of sleep? Like, what's going on? So I did not think at all what the reveal was going to be, that he was basically just Dennis Quaid's psyche. The Pandorum's kicking in, basically.
Yeah, just
so I did not see it.
The two questions I had when he showed up is, why is he so clean cut, like so clean shaven, and where are his clothes?
Oh, right.
His clothes.
I just saw nothing but slime.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, though. Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good point. So the Elysium was basically the closest thing they had to kind of like the Noah's Ark. They had like every, it was like the Last Stand, basically, right? Mm-hmm. They had a little bit of everything on there because they're trying to go. What was it, Tanis? Tanis, right?
Yeah, they had discovered.
They're trying to go to
planet.
Tanis and start anew. But yeah, we can go jump right into spoilers. So if you want to go into why Mr. Young Dennis Quaid went nuts after he found out and got. I mean, we all know it's Pandorum started it.
Yeah.
But what kind of triggered it was them finding out they're still on the mission, but then they found out that Earth is gone. There is no more humanity. They are the only ones left, and that kind of triggered him, and then he lost it. I don't know if you want to take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's your shift. You're on the bridge. You get a transmission. Hey, you're it. You're the last of humanity. Good luck.
Yeah.
And they're like, God this and God that. I'm like, you guys are still talking about God? What did he do for Earth? Jeez, give it up. He ain't coming. All right. Anyways, you got 60,000 people on this ship, I think. And then they also drop that there's cloning stuff on there. So yeah, it's an arc. It's an entire arc that they're shipping out. And it really didn't give you how long they had been out. At least I don't remember until they got the message from Earth. Like it was the second rotation or third rotation or whatever. But shoot, man, I mean, there's no going back. You can only go forward. No. Damn. But they don't elaborate. They don't elaborate how it got destroyed. They mention like thermonuclear. They're like, no, it's gone. The planet is gone. Like Alderaan gone. Like a Death Star showed up and blew it away.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, it's like after that, he snapped, and then he just kind of started fucking with everybody who was still in stasis.
Yeah, and
he let a few out, and then they all became cannibals, right? And then he went to sleep. Right.
Well, yeah, he kind of set up this society, right? Where Earth's gone, humanity screwed it up, so let's start new. These enzymes that are in your body, because they have to adapt to the new planet, you're going to evolve. So let's create something better. I'm going to go to sleep, come back, and see what's happened over 900 years. Yeah.
Crazy.
That's what it's revealed at the end, and I really appreciated that throughout the entire story. It's like, how long has it been? How long has it been? How long has it been? Yeah. I thought it said 928 million at first. I was like, what the fuck? But it was 928 mission years is what it said.
Yeah.
That's nuts, man.
It was definitely fun. But another thing that I liked was the people that have evolved into these humanoid, not even human anymore, just the humanoid type creatures. I love their look. I love the practical makeup. I love their little armor they had, the weapons running around. I really, really like their look. It was nice to see something real and not CGI through the whole movie. It's nice to have something real in the movie.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we had some badass, intense shit, man, because, Ben Foster, he ends up, he's trying to restart the reactor so he can get the ship going, and then he runs into several people. We got crazy, insane guy here on the left,
Leland the cook. But Samurai, we have to mention, like, the first guy he runs into is Norman Reedus.
I know. Yes.
I would run with any time, because he knows how to get out of zombie situations. Be like, dude, where's your crossbow? What are we doing? What's the plan?
That's why he got fucked up.
But what was funny about at least the time frame of the production is they made this film about 2 years before Walking Dead really started to blow up.
Yeah.
So when you see Norman Reedus, you're like, oh, it tells
It's
its
Daryl.
time, but it's kind of cool to see that,
Yeah. It's Daryl. Oh, Daryl's dead. Oh, okay.
He goes out bad. Damn.
Yeah. They
was
gut
wreckage.
him. He's getting bit on the neck. Like these things, and they're strong too.
Yeah, because about a couple hundred years. So we're going about 10 years, 10 generations worth of evolution. So that puts us a significant amount. But yeah, they were nothing to be trifled with, man. And I love the blue flame that they used because it showed some sort of intelligence that was there, and that was even scarier.
Yeah. And also, I heard that just for fun, the blue color symbolizes Pandorum.
Yeah.
So anytime you see our young Dennis Quaid here, he's always blue. And then the creatures had the blue light too. That was kind of for fun too.
Yeah, danger.
But this a little fun fact here: the ridiculously hot female in the middle. I'm gonna let you pronounce her name, bro. I can't do it. I can try.
I gave up.
Let me see. Damn. Anje Trau. I'm sorry if I fucked it up. Fun fact.
Yeah, Angie Trau.
Angie Trau. Okay, I was close. Okay. Fun fact for chat. She was at her time in her acting career. She was going to quit acting. She was going to quit acting, and she was done, and she was going to hang it up. And then somebody convinced her to play this character.
Ooh, that's where I recognize her from now. Damn, she was great in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Feora. Yeah. So can you believe that? Dude?
Yeah. I was like,
just about to quit acting. And then
I kept thinking, I know her from somewhere. What do I know her from? Yeah, because this is a German British production, right? So you usually have one or two actors from that world.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, she's a rogue. So she rolled a rogue in World of Warcraft before. That's how she's able to go through these vents and stuff and get away from these creatures. My other guy, Mang, he rolled as a monk. Okay, so Ben Foster rolled as an engineer. Ah, crap. All right, he's gonna have low strength, low dexterity, but high on intelligence. So let's get him away. Like I just thought about this being written like an RPG.
He needs more mana. He needs more mana.
He needs a lot of mana. As soon as he gets that stun gun, I thought she did a great job. It just the character is you're a badass fighter trying to survive, and you're also a scientist that is in charge of cloning all of these species. But survival, man. I mean, it comes down to survival. You'll be impressed what people can do.
And you get some fun, badass, intense fight, action, chase sequences, man. Like you get some really good stuff in here. Again, when I was watching this for the first time, I had absolutely no idea what we were about to watch. I had no idea I was gonna see fucking mixed martial arts badass Kung Lee in here doing all this martial arts, fighting these evolved creatures. I'm like, dude, this is kind of dope. I was pissed off at him how he died though. I was pissed. That made me mad. I'm like, dude, you were literally running to try to kill the kid earlier. Yeah. And now at the end, you're like, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill the kid."
It's her fault, man. She taught him. She taught the warriors sympathy, and the sympathy got him killed. Know your role, bitch. Yes. Well, I mean, it was tough because she had a point. Because no, it's a kid. And if you let the kid go, then hopefully the parents would be like, "Oh, thanks, you let the kid go. Maybe we shouldn't kill you." Like I thought that was maybe going to be the pattern of, oh, these intelligent creatures are recognizing that maybe this food can be dealt with because they didn't kill our child. Nope, fuck them, kill them. They scared my kid. But Mong. Nobody has any excuse not to be working out during quarantine. This guy's been stuck on a ship, and he's still strong enough to hold that bridge for a good 3 minutes. He held that thing for so long, and then when he finally let it go, it crushed 30 of them. Yeah, that
was great. One arm.
In the world of Mortal Kombat, we call those interactables, and he did a flawless victory.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you can't. You can't skip out on leg day or arm day, guys. I mean, if he's stuck in a ship and he can do this, you can do it at home.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, words of wisdom, Pandorum.
That's right.
Every
I look
day's
at
leg
that
day
and
for me. Every day's leg day for me.
Every day's leg day. I like their weapons were fashioned just for sharpened pieces of metal. I'm like, well, at least they figured that out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
Did
my
you,
goodness.
when you saw Ben Foster touch the green stuff on the wall, because, a
Not
second
at
watch
first.
through people tell me. I know I was just like, is this the aliens spreading their hive,
Yeah.
dude? Maybe you shouldn't be. Have you ever played StarCraft? Like, this is the creep from the Zerg. Maybe you shouldn't be touching this stuff. But no, it was algae to show that we're underwater.
I didn't get that till later, man. I didn't get that till later. Plus,
really
the
like
water
that,
leaking in the ship was the ocean, basically.
Yeah, well,
at first you think it's just moisture, but it's the little leak from the ocean. They said so.
Because films like Alien and others, you think it's moisture from the ship.
Yeah.
There's some sort of leak. Yeah, I like that type of, the audience assumes that it's this because of their previous experiences with this type of genre, but no, it's actually, I like when because they know the expectations of people going into this, right? It's treating your audience as if they've seen a movie before.
Right.
And I like when they make decisions like that sometimes to throw it, because it doesn't feel cheap. It just feels like, I assumed as an audience member it's that, but no, we're giving you the clues right here.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of sad because, if I can understand what's going on in the movie, anybody can understand what's going on in the movie. But a lot of people that dismissed this film called it dumb. They called it dumb. They said it doesn't make any sense. It's just like really panned, like critically, like really bad.
Yeah, I think it was the editing. When I was watching it, I thought this editing is too jarring. There's like there was even cuts where the actors are looking a certain way talking, and if you cut another way and they're looking somewhere else, it's jarring for the audience. I remember that happened twice. I'm like, whoa! I went to school for this. This is gonna cut people out. And if it was a creative choice because they were trying to replicate Pandorum or the mental effects, I get that, but you can do it better than these crazy jump cuts, because all it does is took me, the audience member, out of the element. Yet I appreciated what they're trying to go for, right? Like, okay, I see what you're trying to get it, but the editing just didn't make it work, and that's always frustrating because a film is made 3 times. It's made it's written down as a script, then it's filmed, then it's edited, and I think the first 2 had some really solid punches, and the third one just was missing its mark. Overall, I mean, that's the biggest critique I have of the entire experience. Yeah,
but still not garbage.
No.
Like everyone else says it is. I mean, but despite its cult following,
Well, what was funny is it's German made when this ship is still working after so many years. You're like, this ship, along with this whole script, is German engineered.
German engineering. Yeah, it's just in the water. For how many years was it in the water?
900-something years. Well, it was 123 years for them to get to the planet. Okay. So it was probably underwater for 800 years, I'm guessing.
Right. Okay.
It's a long time. But isn't it a little bit arrogant to be like, we found a planet, we're going to colonize it? Like, is that just what humanity has pretty much just always done?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Hey, how do I look to you right now? Am I laggy to you?
No, you look solid to me.
Okay, because there's like a half an inch delay of your motion.
Oh, of mine?
Yeah. So there's like a half an inch delay. So I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
I mean, you're fine. You're clear. I can hear you great. It's just like there's like when you say cool, there's like half a second later. So
odd. It looks
It's probably StreamYard, bro.
StreamYard, yeah. It looks good to me. But anyways, folks, welcome to the vehicle of live production. Okay, this is what happens. Well, when they woke up from the cryo freeze and they were peeling off the skin, I was like, this is how many layers of dead skin that's been growing on them for so long, man. Oh, God. But this is a stylistic choice. Like, they're going for the grunge, hardcore. Yeah. And whoever designed this ship, I mean, this is a pretty grim setting to wake up to when you look around. It's all cold, industrial. Yeah. There's nowhere to sit that's comfortable. It's like, fuck, who designed this? Oh, yeah, the Germans. The Germans. That's right. It's German goth expressionism in space.
But, yeah, I mean, like overall, it was really an entertaining flick. Like, the reaction I had, excuse me, is the exact same reaction other people I've let borrow the Blu-ray to watch have. They had the exact same reaction. They were just like, I never heard of this movie. Like, where was this movie? You know, so it's nice. I'm happy you liked it.
Well, you know, it was fun to watch Dennis Quaid have fun with his character when he was being this encouraging captain, and then he's shouting at his own mind, and then you realize he's the big bad guy. I mean, that's a cool character to play, and he really doesn't even leave the set.
No,
he's in the same room for most of the film. He's like, I only have to show for 2 days of filming. As long as I have everything memorized, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
But it's fun, like when you get to play like that, and for him to deal with this other character, which really is his own mind losing itself, and then
that Pandorum was starting to try to get to Ben too, but Ben fought it. That was close.
Yeah, well,
that's kind of messing with him.
The cook, who's, when you're in this section of the script in Act 2, they're like, okay, we need an exposition dump. we gotta solve some questions. All right, let's have a crazy guy who's been camping out at a dead end, who's smart. I mean, he's hanging up top, but where does the dude shit? Like, where? that's another one thing I thought about. Like, you're a cook. What are you cooking? Like, if you're not coming down. Oh, it's so corny.
I mean, when he was cooking stuff for them, didn't he say something like, "Ooh, this smoked cooked dog shit" or something like that? I thought I heard him say that, but I thought he was joking. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just
it didn't bother Kung Lee because he was sipping. He didn't give a fuck. Kung Lee was just sipping over there. Actually, funny, they all sipped on it because they all were drugged.
Well, they got gassed. They got gassed later.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's
right.
They got
because I thought it was the food that was poison. Like, no, they got gassed. But
the gas. Yeah, you're right.
You show up. This guy. What's funny is Ben Foster shows up and nobody's working together ahead of time. Right? They're all on their own. They're all scattered, turning into rogues and monks and shit, going back to their RPG days. and then you have a cook, and I'm like, hey man, don't eat what this guy's making. Like, I wouldn't be trusting this dude. But he has the whole thing etched out on what happened, and you see all the crazy streaks or whatever coming from the person's head who was in charge, and you think like, man, this really is a fascinating kind of take on space madness. If the person's like, we can reset humanity, I can shape humanity as I see fit because Earth is gone. Oh shit. Yeah, that's nuts.
That was Dennis Quaid's mission the whole time, man. Yeah. And of course they have to end up stopping him. And there's some. I like the big reveal. I think is everyone's favorite. Is when they realize that they're not in space at all.
Yeah,
and they realize the whole entire movie was taking place underwater. The ship was crashed underwater, and I thought
that was a genius stroke when it came to storytelling. When you're at the bridge, you're like, all right, let me show you. You open the ship, and it's just black, no stars. Yeah. No, and I go, fuck that. Like, that's the scariest scenario. We're in Lovecraft country now. Like, there's old gods and shit.
Speaking of, which we'll get to a little bit later with the next movie, but go ahead.
Yeah. It just was like, you could understand the haunting madness that would cause a human. You know, you just get a glimpse of it. But then when you see the flicker later, I thought it was like one of those Minox from Star Wars, where like, oh shit, the Minox are here too. But they were underwater. They had made it, but they were stuck underwater. And the closest thing, I'm a scuba diver, which is why the other film we're going to talk about freaked me the fuck out, because I've been in exact situations like that. Well, not exact as big of a suit, but underwater breathing and panic attacks and shit.
Shit.
We'll get to that when we talk about that.
You've done everything, man.
Yeah,
all right.
More or less.
So they stop Dennis Quaid. They make it out.
They do. They stop
him. The big reveal is that the whole ship was underwater the whole time, and they're there. They have made it to Tanis, and they're going to go ready to get ashore. And then all the others, because of basically all the other pods came out as well with all the other inhabitants.
They set it up where it showed like, I think it was like 1,800 pods or something. Like, it was over 1,000 that were still alive.
Right.
But the funny thing about the character arc for Ben Foster's character is that he had that picture of that woman, and the memory, again, he's getting his memories back. Yeah. And you're thinking like, oh, there's conflict. He can't hook up with Nadia, the rogue,
Right.
because he's got a woman that he needs to go find, and then he remembers, oh, she didn't come with me. She's dead now. I'm like, why did you put that picture in your pocket if she's not coming with you, man? I mean, like, it's time for new opportunities. Let it all go.
I don't know. Maybe he was hopeful thinking. He was trying to, like, maybe I'll come back.
He was like, maybe I can clone you, like a fingerprint off this photograph.
I'm sure we can all agree that he upgraded by the end of the
yes,
movie.
Sir.
He upgraded, and I support his choice.
Well, the funny thing about her character, which just it's part of the appeal of movies, you have to sell sex in some way, is just the way that she was dressed towards the end. I'd be like, if there's crazy cannibalistic evolved humanoids, I'd wear a little bit more clothing around my chest cavity, just a little bit more. But she was looking fine.
She wants to make sure she's flexible, man.
Yeah, she's got to slip through shit. She's got to dodge and weave. Yeah, I know. It's just a funny nitpick. I don't actually mind. But in today's day and age, you're like, I
know.
It's like, come on, they're slipping through oil in space. I mean, shit. Yeah. Whatever. But I just like the tension between her and Ben Foster's character. Like, we're looking out for each other, and they're starting to get a little more touchy feely. He's like, oh, I remember. She's dead. Like the girl,
I know.
It's dead. We get to fuck now. But that's how I felt as an audience member. Like, oh yeah, they get to fuck, yay! But that's what you do as a scriptwriter. You set it up like that.
It would have been a little bit too sweet at the end if they started making out. Then it would have been like, all right, too sweet. All right, let's just wonder that they get it on later, okay?
Yeah. You gotta really make sure the memory banks that she doesn't have somebody that's waiting for her. If guy pops up, I'm your husband. Fuck shit.
Can you imagine that's in the sequel? Everyone wants that happens in the sequel.
What was funny is.
Husband.
He's like, yeah, I woke up last week. I had cannibals. What are you talking about? Like, what if they had all gone crazy? Yeah. And there wasn't any cannibals, and they'd all just been killing each other. And so when they pop out, there's people that have been surviving for a couple years, like with camp gear and fires and shit. They're like, oh, you made it. They're like, what? This is great.
I know fans want a sequel, but I don't think it's necessary.
No, I mean
the sequels—they're just going to be on the planet trying to survive. It's like,
the sequel's called Raised by Wolves. go watch that.
Oh, all right. So, chat,
but it's fun. I'd recommend it.
There you go, chat. Joshua Gray recommends it. Is it really that bad? As low as 29%? Hell no.
Oh, no way.
Somebody is on the sauce.
Yeah.
Someone's on the sauce. So we both give it the thumbs up.
Boom. That's sure,
right.
Man.
That's how we're doing it. Thumbs up. It is not that bad. It has survived. And now it is time to get into underwater.
Ooh.
And again, I've told this story before. Me and a buddy of mine went to go see Ready or Not in the theater. And we thought it was a fun flick. We enjoyed it. But before it played, they played the trailer for Underwater. And it was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. Like, it was just generic, bland. Made it look, instead of the movie was, parts of the movie was trying to be an Alien homage. It looked like a bad ripoff because of how bad the trailer was. And then we were just watching this like, what is this? We weren't really fans of Kristen Stewart, we were fans. We were like, what is this? And then once the horrible title came up, Underwater, we were laughing in the theater. We were like, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the world reacted the same way. And it's interesting how a bad trailer can fuck it up. I can really fuck up your movie.
Yeah.
I'm 2-second cameo in the trailer documentary called "Film Trailers: A Love Story." I'm in there. For
the one that John Campia produced.
I'm only in there for like 2 seconds. It's
nice. I need to see it. Okay.
But I love the examples they use in there of how bad trailers completely derail.
Oh yeah.
The success of the movie sometimes. Cabin in the Woods is a movie I always go to as an example of look at the movie and then look at the trailer that came out for it. The trailer for Cabin in the Woods was garbage. It was so bad. And me and Lady Fatblood was making fun of that movie the whole time. And then a buddy of ours that we trust was like, no, man, go see it. Just go see it. The third act is amazing. Go see it. And we were like, we didn't know what was going to happen in the third act. And then when the third act happened in the finale, we were like, Holy shit, this is amazing. This is insane. Oh my God, the trailer was horrible. It literally was just, hey, there's some spooky stuff happening in the cabin. It was just, I know they couldn't reveal the third act, but still, you got to make at least an interesting trailer. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think in this case, number one, Pandorum had no trailer that we knew about. Pandorum had no trailer that we knew about, and now Underwater, the trailer it sucked. It sucked. So I panned it for the whole year. Didn't even care at all. And then I started to hear small little buzz for the middle of the year towards the end of the year, and I'm like, Underwater?
Mm-hmm.
Underwater? Are you sure? Is that the same movie you're talking about? Kristen Stewart? Are you sure? Yeah, dude. I was like, really? Oh no, man! Right? I was still kind of on the fence, and then it was a good thing and it was a bad thing, Joshua, because it was a bad thing because the big spoiler was revealed to me, but it was a good thing because that's what made me immediately go want to check it out and talk about it. Okay. I lost my mind when I was just like, "Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Really?" That happens and that appears at the end of the movie. Are you serious? So, yeah, it sucks I was spoiled. They spoiled it for me, but hey, it got me to watch the movie. Yeah, it got me to watch the movie, and let's go ahead and get in it. Underwater 2020, last year, everyone's favorite year. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. For now, we'll see how this one goes. Welcome to the sequel. Fuck.
Starring Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassel. I've always liked Vincent Cassel. I've always thought he was a good actor. Unfortunately, though, he's just one of those good actors that has a lot more bad work than good work. But he's still a good actor.
Yeah, but you could say that about Vincent Price or Christopher Lee, and look how they turned out. I mean, this gentleman is middle-aged, but he still has plenty more hopefully ahead of him. And that's, working in this industry, from the limited success that I have had, some things work out great, other things don't. Just as long as you know that you gave it your best. Yeah. That is how you keep getting work. I mean, that is how people keep wanting to work with you. I mean, you recognize, like, hey, maybe this one's going to be a clunker, but it's going to pay the bills. I'm going to give it my all. Yeah. And sometimes you do some for the studio, you do some for yourself. It's just it's a tough racket, dude. It's a real tough racket. But I hear you. You want better for him. You want I know you can do more. I know there's a role out there for you.
Let's see here. So he's in the movie as well. Now I want your honest opinion of T.J. Miller.
I think he is really funny and witty. He plays that role very well. With the
not the eye camera.
With everything that happened amidst all the Me Too movement, I don't know his case exactly. I know what his response was.
I didn't even know he was involved. I'm just talking about him as an actor.
Yeah, I mean, I think he fills the role well, but it's like you know what to expect already from him.
Right. So, it's kind of like the same note. Put it this way, I don't know about. I guess sometimes he could be funny, but my only thing is, like, did he deserve an "and" in the credits?
Well, I didn't even know he was in the film, so I think they kept that as kind of a surprise, but also to try to escape.
Vincent Cassel, not and T.J. Miller, but I'm just new boo goofing.
Yeah. But Omni Blast said it best in chat, starring T.J. Miller as T.J. Miller.
Yeah.
But he serves the story very well because he gives the comedic punches. He brings humanity back. He has funny lines. Like, I laughed in the scenes, but he's playing that because T.J. Miller is that type of guy in real life. But those type of people exist in those type of groups. They will be cynical, but have a heart of gold in really tough situations.
Eccentric.
Yeah, eccentric. The thing with the bunny, as working with divers and being a scuba diver myself, the thing with the bunny, I'm like, oh yeah, I get that totally. And I would treat that bunny the way he'd want me to treat it. You don't question that shit because he knows it's not real. It's a token. Yeah. It's a token of survival, and I appreciated that about his character.
Yeah, yeah. But I was like, and T.J. Miller, oh man. Oh,
yeah, and I saw that, I was like, oh shit. But he's one of those guys in the real world that I still want to keep an eye out and support. because his body of work makes me laugh.
Makes you laugh. Does he do a stand-up as well?
Yeah, he does stand-up.
Maybe his stand-up is funnier than what he does in the movies.
Well, I think he's the one that made Cloverfield work.
Oh my God, he was in Cloverfield?
Yeah, he's the funny guy in Cloverfield who you never see, but you hear all the time until the monster eats him.
That's hilarious because of what gets revealed later, or the universe that this movie presents us in.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So again, he's somebody who's experienced in this realm.
Yeah,
knows how to play the comic relief. So I'm like, okay, yeah, he's gonna die. But
okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a give or take.
I will say this: I loved his death.
Shit, man. Yeah,
that was fucking great.
Even the way that they were talking about it afterward. Yeah. They pulled him out of his suit. I was like,
horror movie fans in the chat right now, if you like just people getting fucked up gore, his death is great. It is great. Because there's a similar death in a similar type movie called Deep Star 6. I don't know if you've seen that movie. It's old. You may have seen it.
Deep Star 6. Okay.
Yeah, Deep Star 6. It's a similar type movie. Miners underwater. They come across a creature because they're really low in the depths. And here's the fascinating thing. Is it really that bad episode I did not too long ago with about Leviathan? Here's what's crazy. Deep Star 6, Leviathan, and The Abyss came out the exact same year.
Yeah, see, it's one studio approves the script, and then the other ones will approve similar scripts, man.
Obviously,
Bugs Life and Ants.
Obviously The Abyss is the better of the three, but still, it's like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that when I was doing my research.
It's so fascinating to see that pattern happen in Hollywood over and over again,
Yeah. Blade and John Carpenter's Vampires, they came out the same year. Saving Private Ryan and the Thin Red Line, they came out the same year.
Yeah. But also what happens too, and I have experienced this phenomenon, is artists seem to just tap into similar wavelengths. And it's either, similar exposure in culture, or they're just tapping into some sort of consciousness that has this idea. Because I've written that in a script or two, and then all of a sudden I've seen it play out. Just the characters' names change, and I was like, what? What? Did somebody steal my idea? And then it's like, no, just somebody had a similar idea because they had a similar spark of inspiration. Right now, you could tell somebody blatantly stole it if he had already registered with the Writers Guild, etc. But I've had that happen once or twice. And a writing friend of mine, the guy who wrote the Mortal Kombat stories and comic books for the game and Injustice, he said, yeah, that'll happen. It just means you're on the right track. It means you're tapping into stuff that the culture is looking for, type of thing, and studio execs are looking for. So if anybody in the creative world is like, oh, I thought about a similar situation like 2 years ago, now they're making a movie, start writing that stuff down. Start exploring your ideas and putting it into a script format, because you may be tapping into something. The muses and the artists will tell you that ideas kind of flow. They'll flow to you like a ship on the ocean. Yeah. And you gotta be the conduit and make it work, or you're just gonna let that opportunity pass you by. Anyways, I didn't want to go on a tangent about storytelling, but
chat, I hope you're writing all of this down, chat. We're trying to get into filmmaking.
That's why we save it.
It's all good advice right here from Joshua.
Now, Samurai, have you ever seen the film Enemy Mine?
Yes, and that's another one that might be another future episode. I'm not sure.
It's seeing Dennis Quaid in space reminded me of that a lot from the previous film. This underwater film reminded me a lot of a video game called StarCraft, where the Space Marines wear these bigger suits with a bigger helmet. And I just thought, dude, the potential for a StarCraft movie, even a squad of like 4 Marines trying to get the hell out of a base. Yeah. So much potential. But that was my comparison going into this film. I really had no idea about the story. I just knew it starred Kristen Stewart, and they're underwater, and that was it. And I was pleasantly surprised and horrified.
Yeah, me too, man. And I was watching up here, and Lady Fabblood was with me, and she was like, she enjoyed it too, but she was kind of like, man, the first thing she said was that trailer for this movie was horrible. Yeah. Plus, it's almost they knew the movie was going to fail. Why? Because they released it in January.
Yeah. It's January, as Red Letter Media says. Fuck you, it's January. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, no. Yeah, but let's go ahead and get into it. So, chat. Basic plot of Underwater, and Josh will elaborate because he's very good at that. Because IMDb plots are horrible, but we're gonna, I'll read the basic plot we got going here. So, a crew of oceanic researchers working for a deep sea drilling company tried to get to safety after a mysterious earthquake devastates their deep water research and drilling facility located at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Wow, that plot sucked. All right, I'm glad.
Wait, Transformers 2? They talked about the Mariana Trench.
There's something else with them. Like, none of that. Just, hey, earthquake happened, and yeah. All right, so.
But they start fast in this film,
yes!
and that's what I really appreciated at first. I have come to really admire and appreciate Kristen Stewart over the years because, one, she lands the role of a lifetime that's going to make her rich beyond her wildest dreams, falls in love with the Prince Charming, and yet gets exposed to this entire Hollywood world so quickly, right? Outside of all the tabloid stuff, I'm proud of the person that she has become going through all that. And Hollywood is always asking the question, can they hold a movie? Can they get people to come out and see the movie and pay tickets? Right. That's a tough call because really only Tom Cruise can do that. That's the last guy left that can do that. Everything else has to be like an established IP.
Even after the Tom Cruise rant, people are still, they don't give a fuck. They're still going to go see Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, for international, he brings it every time. So that's like one bankable star people can bank on for a big budget. So with this, they went with Kristen Stewart, and I thought, well, this is a choice. Because when you think of like Alien, you think of Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, you think of a tough ass but relatable female.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know if Kristen Stewart could fill that role. After seeing this film, absolutely she can. Absolutely she can. I thought she did a great job.
I actually, again, like I said earlier, I'm not really a big, huge, like, Kristen Stewart fan.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have like all her movies or whatever.
I've only seen one or two, but I watched an interview with her with Howard Stern recently, and it was good.
No sex pillows, no posters, I'm not that big of a fan.
I donated those.
But yeah, by the end of the movie, towards the end, I admit, like, she was very, very good in this. Very well done. And believable performance, too. Believable. No ridiculous overacting. Like, she was just like, this is the situation we're in. We got to survive. Let's go.
Yeah. As an engineer trying to keep it together.
And it wasn't really like she was like an action heroine. She was it's just survival.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being attacked. I'm getting dragged. I need to get the gun and shoot my way out. It was very well done.
Yeah, these people felt like they were professionals in the moment. Even the research assistant, who was the least experienced,
right?
She, had to get her shit together and move. So it felt like these people had been living on this facility for a while, right? It just didn't feel like a bunch of people that were panicking. Because let me tell you, I'm a scuba diver, and I've gone down 120 feet, 120 feet. Okay,
yeah,
that depth itself is scary as fuck. That moment when she's looking out and you don't see anything, it's just completely open. I was floating over a cliff in Mexico, a downward cliff, and I could see all sorts of manta rays sliding across the cliff, but then it just drops straight down and it's nothing but ocean.
Oh my God.
I stood there and looked at that for a good minute, and that was the scariest moment of my life.
Yikes.
Until I had a panic attack. 60 feet down, the drift was carrying me about 20 miles an hour. I was kicking to stay with the group, and I was losing my breath. And you can't just go straight up because of the pressure, all right? If you go any further than 15 feet, you have to come up and wait at 15 feet and wait 3 minutes before you go up, or you're going to get fucked up. You're going to get the bends because the air bubbles in your blood's going to expand, and you're going to get sick, and you could die.
Okay.
So they got to take it to a decompression chamber. So I'm sitting there freaking out, trying to kick, and I'm thinking I'm going to pull my stuff off and go up, but if I do that, it's not going to be good. So my brother, who's with me, and the scuba master come, and they just put their hand on my chest until I catch my breath, and then I stay with the group, and we continue the dive. And that's really the only way, is just to you have to calm down and trust in your own breath and trust in your breathing. So when those actors were going through that in this film, I was having PTSD, bro. I was like, fuck.
Man.
And I remember diving in a cave before.
I'm sorry.
Too, so.
I'm sorry.
No, it's good because I've gone back and dived since then. I didn't give up, but Also diving in a cave with a bunch of catfish. So it's completely dark. You're going down, following a line. And then you tilt yourself forward and you go through the cave, and the cave opens up and it's completely clear, and you see these giant catfish just swimming around, hanging out. And, you know, I can't even believe that I did that. That was like 10 years ago. I think about it now going, holy shit. If it's that freaky just being like 20 feet, 60 feet underwater, imagine what it's like. 6 miles!
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So I wanted to throw that out there that they got the tension right.
I will watch you dive.
I'll take a video camera with me.
I will not join you. I will be like, hey, I'll wait till you get out. Hey, how was it?
Well, it's the closest thing to outer space, and I've been this close to an eel as long as my living room. I've seen lobsters bigger than my chest. I've seen sharks. I mean, I've seen sea life down there that if we don't take care of the planet, they're going to disappear. So seeing it and seeing that ecosystem and realizing, fuck, man, these creatures, they live an entire life down here that is so beyond whatever I've been exposed to. But now that I've seen it as a scuba diver, it's something worth fighting for. But I'll get off my pedestal on that side. But yeah. No,
I agree. I agree with that. But it's literally another world.
It is, and I think that's why these two films are a beautiful double feature. I mean, they worked really well back to back. I watched Pandorum last night, and then Underwater today.
Nice.
So good selection, man.
Well, thank you.
Have you ever snorkeled? Like, what's the deepest you've ever been underwater?
I snorkeled when I was young, and that was a long time ago, but it's not worth talking about. I'm going to end up boring Chad over here. Since you have the experience, sharks, leave them alone, or
the ones that I saw are,
punch them in the nose, or leave them alone.
If you got to pull a Tomb Raider.
Lady Fatba's in the back. She heard you. She's laughing.
That's right. That's for you.
Hey, there you go, babe.
You know, when you're down there and you realize just how much that you're floating and flying, you don't really think you're going to get much leverage doing this underwater. You know, some divers have knives, but we're encouraged not to have any knives when we're close to the reefs. And the sharks that I saw are sand sharks that were like 20 feet away, hanging out with their spawn, just cruising against the reef. But when you see that fin just going up next to the reef like that, and the back of your mind's going, da-dum.
Yeah, pretty much,
yeah. But I never felt threatened. I just felt in awe. It was...
Okay.
Yeah.
You just got to be cool. You just got to be a cool cucumber and not freak out or panic.
Which is why yoga helps. Yeah, you got to focus on your breath. You have to focus on your breath.
Or plan B, you can punch it in the nose and just ride it to the top, right?
Yeah. You just keep breathing. Don't hold your breath going all the way up because you'll get air bubbles in your brain. You could die. Just keep breathing out. If the shark's taking you up. If you get the bend, just keep breathing out. That's what I learned from, what was the one with Thomas Jane and LL Cool J?
Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea, yeah.
You ate my bird.
One of LL Cool J's best performances. Yeah.
Is LL Cool J the only black actor that has survived multiple horror films and did not die?
Pretty sure. Yeah. It's like that and Get Out.
Right.
But I was really, really impressed with this film. I didn't dive into too much of the production costs and budget and where it was coming from.
I think it's 80 million.
What was it?
80 million.
80 million?
It made like 20, man. It didn't even worldwide. It didn't make its money back, so it did bomb. It sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Because the production design I liked.
Yeah. The suits, the location, the rigs they were in, like everything looked really good. Like I mean, this did not look like a cheap movie. I mean, obviously 80 million. You know,
in just the world that they built, like even with Rodrigo, who. Speaking of LL Cool J not dying, when I saw Rodrigo, I'm like, oh, please don't be this trope. Please, no.
I know, right?
But the beauty about it is that they gave him character when he saw the shattered helmet. Yeah. And he like gave her the good helmet. And I'm like, dude, if there's no good helmets, just don't come with them. Be like, sorry guys, I'm gonna lag behind or try to find another helmet.
Right.
I guess he didn't know. But when that stuff started to crack and how deep they were, I'm like, dude, he's a fucking bomb. Like, oh shit. Like, I was so tense, man. And him looking at it cracking, going like, dude, this is it. But that's what really, that was the big punch for me.
Right off the bat, this whole happens early. And Kristen Stewart's even like, she was reminiscing about him later. She was like, he knew this could have happened. He gave me the better helmet.
Yeah, because like, again, they're all professionals in the situation, or trying to be at least. And I appreciate it. Like, his death meant so much more. He wasn't just a guy panicking and trying to survive. He was like, fuck, man, I'm not gonna make it.
And she saved his life earlier.
Yeah.
So chat, there's a breach. Water comes in. They're all trying to get away and escape. And what was it like? It was like when she met up with Vincent Cassell. He's like, scale from 1 to 10. How's my rig? 10 being the
How
worst.
Bad is it?
Said, yeah, he just said 10.
Her delivery is perfect. She's just 10. I mean, there's no extra words. There's no talking about it or ramping up to it. Like, how bad is it? It was 10. It's bad. Like, it's the worst case. Because she's brushing her teeth, and she has this monologue, which I think the whole monologue vibe at the ending, we'll get to that. I wasn't a huge fan. It just kind of felt a little bit out of place. But her solidarity of just brushing her teeth and being in a vulnerable state, at first I'm like, fuck, man, this is gonna suck if something bad happens. Then boom, it happens, which is kind of like I don't like wearing flip flops unless I'm at the beach, because people like, something goes wrong, you run around in flip flops, it's gonna be tough. But the way that Kristen Stewart is presented, not just because of her vulnerability, but these people are divers. They're always slick, like they get into suits in and out. She looks like she's been living around the water for a long time. Her character design, her hair, just that was the presence that I got of her. Like, she's a hardworking woman that knows water, and if you can get that just by somebody brushing their teeth, these people know how to build a world. So kudos to them building the production design, because it felt like they were really underneath the water.
I agree. So shit hits the fan, the water breaks in. She ends up saving Rodrigo temporarily until he dies later. Interesting about his death, there's nothing but jibs in the air, and they still have to keep moving. So they're basically walking through his jibs. I appreciated that detail.
And I love that she muted him. I love that she muted him, because the research assistant is just screaming.
Yeah.
And she's just like, beep, 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 and she just kept walking forward. And I'm like, professional. Go. I mean, you are terrified. People are like, oh, you don't feel anything. No, you are terrified. I was terrified underwater. I thought I was going to die having a panic attack, until I remembered that you have to focus on what you're training and the equipment, being a professional.
Yeah.
So that shit is what kept her going. And I love that part. It's
and they before they even got in the suits, though, they had to come up with some kind of plan. So the plan from Vincent Cassell, he's the captain, and the plan was, okay, we're going to take the rig. This vehicle is going to get us so far, but eventually we're going to have to get off on foot and walk the rest of the way to the, what did they call it? I forgot the other rig, the other headquarters. I forgot the name of it. The Roebuck,
yeah, the Roebuck. There was the Roebuck, which is the main hub, and then there was the Shepherd Station, which was the other hub that they mentioned. And I forgot why they said they couldn't make it to the Shepherd Station.
Well, they were just scared at first, I thought.
Yeah.
Because they
got to cross the plateau. They have to literally walk across the ocean floor.
Yeah. And oh shit went down when that happened. But I was just enjoying when I was watching. I was entertained. I was like invested, like right off the bat. And a movie is doing a good job when there's really not a lot of character development at first, but you're still invested in what's happening. That's how you know a movie's doing a good job. You know what I mean? So this is intense, fast paced. So they're trying to get across. Mr. Tim Miller ends up getting killed. But first, though, before he gets killed, him and the other guy, was it a husband of the research girl or fiance, or they're just together?
So when Kristen Stewart's going through the wreckage, she closes the door with Rodrigo. They keep going. They find the captain, and then the captain knows that Smith and the research woman, I forget her name, Emily, or something like that.
I'll check.
They're a couple, but they're alive. So we have, 5 people alive?
Yeah. Emily.
And after Rodrigo dies, then it's 4. T.J. Miller, Smith, Kristen Stewart's character, and the research assistant.
Right.
So it's pretty much we're with 4 people for a while.
Yeah.
But they keep hearing the bangs, and they're like, is there something following us? You keep thinking like, okay, is this going to be Pandorum again, like undersea madness that people are dreaming up, or is something going on?
Yeah.
And you have a bit of that mystery at first until they start to see stuff. But it's they find the body. That's right, because they're going down the shaft.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get to the other section. They have to keep going down. They're like, oh, there's somebody below us. It's probably a survivor. We got to double check. They go out and check, and the thing is feeding off of its corpse. And I'm like, this is alien, bro. Don't look. Don't. And even Chris and Stewart and the captain are like, come back. Yeah. But they pivoted it on us, and I like that.
Yeah. But they end up taking the specimen back to where they're at to research over it.
Well, it just shows again they're professional and competent, because it goes to attack T.J. Miller, but they got it. They stopped it.
Yeah. It almost lunged out at the research girl too, Emily.
Yeah.
Remember, she was kind of poking at it.
I was scared too, man. I'm like, can you wear a mask or something?
The one thing that actually made me laugh with T.J. Miller, didn't he say something like, when they started to hear bangs again, and the bangs got louder.
Chirping. Does it sound like birds chirping?
Yeah. And then he said something like, did he say something like, I hope that's not the mom looking for the kid or something like that?
Oh, yeah. He's like, is that a child? Because you think it as an audience member, you're like, oh shit, it's a baby, and they're after its baby, and T.J. Miller says it out loud, right? But I mean, it shows the depth of these creatures or whatever is out here and natural habitat, and then the bigger idea of humanity drilling and occupying and taking over the habitat. So you have all of those questions kind of wrapped up into this creature.
Right.
They're trying to figure out what the hell
it is. And Vincent Castell's kind of like, oh, it's just an earthquake, or it's just the wreckage still dropping.
It seems that he knows more, and I think that's what's hinted in his locker.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that when we get there. I'm curious about that, what your theory might be on that. But yeah, they're back on their mission of getting the fuck out of there, and then Miller ends up getting kind of left behind, not really, but just kind of taking his time.
Well, yeah. Well, she has to. I mean, it's a good setup, because at the beginning, Kristen Stewart has to crawl through that rubble, and again, this earthquake's happening, so you can get crushed at any moment. And when they pass the corpse of their dead colleague who's still looking at him, I'm like, can you not like close your eyes when you're walking by?
I know, right?
So, death is staring them in the face, really. And you have T.J. Miller's character who, is kind of laughing in the face of it. But they set it up to where you think he gets killed by the creatures when they're going through the under the water small causeway. He's the last guy to make it, but then he makes it. And you're like, oh, all right, he made it. But he didn't unhook, and the thing started to pull him. But it was pulling the cord, but then it grabbed his leg, right? I think that's what I saw in the film. And then it pulled him out through the suit from the leg. Like, oh my God. Ugh.
That was great. I was like,
did you see him? Yeah. There was a bit of CGI of like his chin being stuck in the neck hold, and then it blood.
Yeah. Like I said, they had something similar like that in Deep Star 6, except not as graphic as in Underwater. But I was just like watching it going, yeah, I know I'm not supposed to be doing that, but I'm enjoying myself. I'm like, yeah. But anyway.
But what was crazy is, again, you had the character, you had the script confirming what the audience is saying, because Smith is like, they pulled him out of his suit. I mean, it's like you just saw him trying to process it, and as an audience member, I didn't fully understand what happened, but him saying it out loud, I was like, oh fuck, what a bad way to go.
Yeah.
Oof.
I know, right? But yeah, good stuff here. And then the big fear that the crew had is going outside, and they have to make that walk in darkness. And this is when things really get interesting. So, go ahead and take it away, Josh. Then walking outside.
they see you, like they can hear shit.
Right. Well, it's like there was like a first short run.
Yeah,
where they actually start seeing other creatures, and they're like, "What the fuck is that?"
Oh, right? Yeah, because it's exploding. Because he's looking through the window because they're hearing pounding on the cab that they're in. They're hearing pounding because the baby's inside. They close that door.
Yeah.
And they have to go because they're looking through. And I love the shot because he's looking through the window. It's like scraping along the window. Then you see a figure kind of standing up. And then the shadow of that figure is a giant explosion above him. And then you hear the captain go, "We got to go. The rig's blowing." And they open that door and run. And the captain even says, "Just shut your eyes and run," because you see the shadows like coming in, dude. And but that's when Smith, he pushes T.J. Miller out of the way, I think, and the debris hits Smith, which causes a rupture on his oxygen tank, and the chemicals fuck him up for a bit.
Right.
But yeah, that was fucking scary, man. Because again, underwater, can't see.
Yeah.
You got shit coming for you. Oh.
Yeah. It's good shit.
That captain's like, close your eyes and just keep running.
Yeah.
Don't look.
That's why he's the captain.
That's why he's a captain. Yeah, and I appreciated the character arc they had with him, especially later on, talking about his daughter being 14, and Kristen Stewart's like, "No, she's older than 14." You realize, she'll always be 14 to him. Fuck.
Yeah, fuck. I know.
Well,
good stuff.
So after T.J. Miller dies, we make it to another part of the facility, but their escape plan's like not going to work. So then they have to run. They're outside again, and that's when that thing really attacks them. Like when you really see them, and it starts hunting them.
Yeah, I mean, look at this shot right here.
Yeah, it was right behind. Creepy. Yeah, right behind her. Yeah,
that's fucking creepy right there. You don't even need a movie. Just paint that, hang it up on the wall. People will walk by and be like, "What the fuck is that?" Yeah, but yeah, really good scene there. Where it comes down, grabs her, and it's not looking good, man. But again, the design of these creatures, very well done. Very, very entertaining. Very entertaining design. Were you okay with the CG? Were you okay with the CG?
Yeah. I mean,
I thought CG was fine.
The technology there is to tell a story. You can mask stuff with the darkness in the water, but it felt like these creatures were moving in the water. It felt like they were quick, yet would flow naturally with the water flow itself, so that it all felt like they really would exist down there, so outside of any type of, our eyes are always trained to see light naturally, so if it doesn't look natural, obviously that's the uncanny valley. So we know these creatures don't exist, but you felt the threat because of how the light bounced off their eyes.
Yes. I love really that when she lands on the little platform after it drops her. And then it's like coming around, swimming around, like it's like looking for her, like peeking his head up, like getting closer and closer. I was like, I'm digging it.
I mean, it was making the threat very real. But I got a bit lost when they got separated because the thing grabbed the captain, and they were still hooked.
Right.
And they were flying, and then they hit that facility, and it was chasing them around, and then the captain was holding on. And then it grabbed her, but then the captain came and just started to stab it, right?
Yeah. The captain was stabbing it, and then he fell over to the side, and she was like holding him like that, and then he wanted to redo a scene from Backdraft, like, "Let me go, boo." So great. I mean, he had to do it. They're both were going to die.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't his mask already cracking?
Because the pressure was getting worse. It had about 2% more. Yeah,
he had to. They're both going to die.
That's why you always got to have a knife to cut that cord, man. That stuff scares me. Shit.
So she's separated from the other two.
She was, which you think, I hope they're okay.
I know, right?
They're out in the middle.
She's trying to contact them.
And that's when she makes it to...
the locker,
the other facility, yeah.
But it's not like she could just hang out there, though. Like she could just live there and survive there. So she had to leave eventually to try to get to the main hub, like you were saying.
Yeah, but she says that in her message, which I think again is good exposition to move the plot along, as she talks on the radio saying, "Hey, I'm okay. I have enough air for a little while. I got to get to the next facility, but if you can make it here, there's air." again, what a professional would do in the situation. You try to see if your friends are alive. You tell them where you're going next, and then you plow forward.
All right. The theory you have about the locker sequence.
So I think the captain was charting the seismic activity, and it was all going to the same spot. And the company, like in the opening titles, you saw the company was trying to hide that there was activity or something was going on, or a mysterious drill site happened. And I think the captain was just notating stuff that was happening, and he was trying to piece it together. That's what I got, because why would Kristen Stewart linger so long looking at that map? But that's kind of the vibe that I got, where he was just like, oh no, it's not that, and he's like, fuck, there's nothing I can do, these things are gonna kill us. The company man. But it was small, and the payoff was like in the credits and in the titles and the credits, so I don't even know if it was that important to the story, or they could have fleshed it out better,
just the daughter reveal.
That was the most important thing. Yeah
You want to talk about that?
Well, as somebody I'm single, no kids, and when I think of an emergency situation, I'm the first one that should go in, because I don't have dependents.
Right.
And in that type of situation, that's what would be going through my head of, I don't have any kids, you do, you get to go, So for the captain, there was another scene that when humans do for each other, I always found really touching, because I was in a very mild car accident, but I had glass all over me, and I had to go do a theatrical play. Like, I was on the way to go do the play, and the stage manager checked every inch of me, and she was a very gentle person, but just that type of compassion that a human has for another, it was a very special moment to me. So when I saw the captain do that to Kristen Stewart, checking her to make sure she didn't have any cuts or anything, I'm like, oh, I could feel the father-daughter bond. So when he tells her it's going to be all right, and he lets go, and then you figure out the daughter, I'm like, good setup. Fuck, yeah, okay, I get it. So I liked it. I thought they did a good job with that. And it was it tugged at the heartstrings,
Mm-hmm. And she really, her reaction of the captain dying was really good too. Like she like really, you could tell it really hurt her, man. But she's like hunched over, like yelling, crying in the shower and all that. Like, good stuff. Something you wouldn't expect in a movie that features a character that we're going to get into a little bit later, but that's one of the most awesome things about the movie. So, all right. So she meets up with, she finds Emily.
Yeah.
Emily
she hears him when she's walking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To get to the next facility, and Emily's still walking with, and I'd be doing the same thing. I'd be talking to myself, knowing I'm going to die at any minute.
Yeah, I thought she lost it at that point. But she was just keeping herself busy.
Yeah,
I mean, I wouldn't blame her, right?
Well, then, but also, you're keeping the radio channel open in case somebody hears you. But if you hear something behind you, I don't care if there's lights or a human, I'd be freaked the fuck out too. Yeah. So she's running. No. It felt believable for the research assistant. Yeah. Like, people are like, oh, it's dumb, no panic. Yeah, I would have lost my shit by then. But then Kristen Stewart's like, no, it's me, it's okay. And then Emily gets back up and she gathers her stuff and then keeps moving on. Yeah, but good on her. It's still Dragon Smith, man.
I like before they get to the hub. Was it I forgot the name already. Rockford Files? What is it? What was the name of the main hub?
One was an R, and the other one was like the Shepherd Station or whatever. That's another station they made it.
I fucked it all up. But I liked when they ran into those creatures that were kind of just hibernating. They were kind of just hanging out.
Yeah, they were just, Well, what was that thing? You thought it was like part of a door or something that was hanging in front of the door, but it wasn't. That's where... Well, I mean, we talk about that character in a sec, but dude, I mean, come on, it's like a video game. Like, we're about to hit the final level.
They were like hanging from something that you thought was the ceiling or
debris or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she gets attacked. She fights her way out. Then they escape and get inside. And then the big boss man is revealed. And this is what made me, again, spoiled. It spoiled it for me. However, it got me to the dance. So it got me to want to watch the movie. And Dude, just the fact that, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to throw in Cthulhu at the end of this fucking movie.
Yeah.
And he showed up, and I love how it was mostly in darkness and in light. You know, it wasn't just like Cthulhu out and about, like, hey, I'm Cthulhu, hey. You know? Could you imagine if that happened in the movie? Oh, my God. Hey, come on, guys. The big C guy here, what's happening?
Yep. Anyway. God has arrived, Republicans.
You will all kneel and bow down. But yeah, it's so fucking cool, man. And I've always been fascinated with the lore. I'm not like all well versed in it, but I've been fascinated with the lore, and you know, and throughout horror and sci-fi movies throughout generations, everyone's been influenced by, you know, Lovecraft work. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, you get a little bit of that Cthulhu world a little bit in movies like The Mist, right?
Yeah.
Movies like In the Mouth of Madness, right? You get a little taste here and there. And there's other films as well. I don't know if it's From Beyond. There's another movie out there. I can't remember. The main actor who played Jeffrey Holmes, who played in Reanimator, was in a movie that kind of teased with the Cthulhu-dom.
Gotcha.
But I've always been fascinated with that kind of stuff, man. And the unknown. The unknown is always more scary. You know, the unknown and the other dimensions, what's out there, you know, what's trying to creep back in and fuck with us. That premise is just very fascinating. And I always found Cthulhu fascinating. And the fact that he just showed up, and it was really a bonus. Like, technically, they didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
They could have just, you know, they're just these miners. They dug a little bit too deep, and we got creatures down here.
It's the water Balrog, man.
Yeah. I mean,
the dwarves down too dangerous and too deep. Then you see like a Gandalf in his scuba outfit. Rule shall not pass. Damn, that'd be fun. But you hit the nail on the head when it came to the reveal of this creature. Because the beauty about the entire sequence is it didn't fully show what the fuck this thing was. And when it started to, my eyes started to go, holy shit, the scale of this thing is huge.
Yeah.
What a payoff. And they're parasites or barnacles that live on its skin, or he's able to like summon them or control them or whatnot. And that made it even more crazier. Like this ancient, whatever the fuck type of creature can control all these crazy ones as well. Like, what are we? Where are we? Where's Aquaman when you need him?
Greatest crossover movie ever.
Oh, he just swims in and starts talking to it like, hey, Julie Andrews, that's your sister, right? Yeah, knock it off. Kristen Stewart, you can go. Yeah, and you're too
Aquaman.
Well, you think about like as a.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, you just think about it as a production designer, right? And as somebody who's trying to get butts and seats,
right?
You don't want to reveal. I mean, you don't want to reveal that because it's such, as you said, the culture, the Lovecraftian culture, the wonderment of much bigger world that's out there, and that exists. It's called our ocean floor. Mars is better mapped than our ocean floor, and the very small part that I have seen. Yeah. Pictures and video don't do it justice. I mean, when you just see all the ecosystem, the life there, and that's only 60 to 100 feet. Okay, we're talking miles down, miles. So, in ancient cultures and ancient stories, when they talk about Leviathan, that always would captivate me as a kid. Be it a large whale or a giant squid, most likely what it was, but still a creature from the deep. You don't even know what it is. You're out fishing, you see this giant thing, of course it'd be a legend, you know? So I think they really struck that chord well in this film to hit that type of level.
So chat, I'm not going, we just said that Cthulhu is in this movie, so it's a big spoiler if anybody's coming in late right now. But I'm not going to show you what he looks like. I'm going to at least, if you're curious about the movie, I'm not going to show him what he looks like right now. If you're still curious about it, even though you know he's there, then make sure you check out the movie. But if you guys don't even know who the fuck we're talking about, it's this guy. Boom, son. Now, how many years have fans all over the world have wanted to see Cthulhu on a big scale, on a grand scale. Is this the closest we've had?
It's pretty close. Scale. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's. I think the creature,
short, even though it's brief.
I think the creature underwater is bigger than that scale that what you showed. I think it's probably another third or twice as big as that.
Yeah.
And you know, growing up with Godzilla, and then in my timeline having Cloverfield and King Kong and others, you know, I love it. Mechagodzilla, hell yeah. I remember as a kid, before I even did drugs, on a Saturday, watching those films where like a kid could talk to Baby Godzilla and Baby Godzilla could talk back, and I'm like, what the fuck? Do you know what I'm talking about, or am I crazy?
Yeah. Not one of my favorites.
Yeah, but it's just like, for that to exist, but it was before the internet, right? So you tell your parents, you tell your friends, like, am I crazy, or was this on TV? And then another kid who just happened to have TNT on that morning, he's like, oh, I saw the same thing. So thank God for the internet. Anyways, the fascination with it, I think, is innate in our DNA because of this natural world that still fascinates us as humans, right? I mean, I remember visiting other countries and seeing different birds. Just the way the birds look fascinating me. It's like, I've never seen a bird like that before, you know?
Yeah.
Oh man, I remember how fascinated people were about the Titanic and how that opened up more underwater exploration. But then when you would see some of these fish and creatures down there, you're like, I don't want to go down there, man.
No.
It's freaky.
Yeah.
It's freaky.
But look at this. Look at this. Who does not?
There's squid. There's squid as big as that head. I'm not making that up. There's squid down there as big as that head.
Oh, God.
For sure.
Don't tell me that.
100%.
But I'm all for any future Cthulhu-like works. Hopefully we get more Cthulhu-type works on a grand scale. There was another movie called Dagon. I think that was solid. Kind of dived in it a little bit. Smaller budgeted movie, but I remember being okay. But yeah, it's almost like we dive in it. It's a little bit part of it, but it's not like fully explored to where we can have this big budget franchise or big budget series. Yeah. And I would love to see something in that world. I would love to see something like that.
Well, these medium budget films, when it comes to Hollywood, and when I mean Hollywood, I don't mean just the Hollywood system that makes film. I mean filmmaking. So when it comes to filmmaking, we had the heyday of VHS and DVDs in the 90s and early 2000s. But that started to disappear because of streaming. Well, now with streaming, there's so much that's available for the mid-grade, the mid-tier budget, like the low-tier to mid-tier, and so much of it's going to be released on streaming now. So I see more films like Underwater being released, but being released on Netflix or HBO.
That's fine.
Yeah, fine with me. I got my 65-inch OLED and my 5.1, and I watched that thing in 4K, and it looked great.
That's it. I'm coming over.
Yeah, I'd love to have you. I'd love to have parties again, but unfortunately, we can't. We should maybe look at a watch party though together.
That would be
fun in the future. That'd be fun.
I'm down for that. But let's get to now. Did you have any issues? Would you have wanted? I know we're running out of time, and the movie's pretty much done, so we're running out of time. The Cthulhu bonus was literally just a bonus. It wasn't the focus of the movie. It was just kind of a bonus, like for fans.
Yeah.
Would you have wanted more of a reaction from the crew to seeing Cthulhu? Like in terms of, paranoia, maybe one of them wets themselves or like loses their mind a little bit.
Well, they see it. I mean, Smith and the research assistants see it before they get on the escape pods. And I mean, you're in a state of shock for so long.
That's true.
When you the beauty about the reveal of it is because you feel the earthquake and then you see the shadow of it like moving over the base and it cuts away for a second. You're like, holy fuck, this thing is huge. Yeah. And just the human mystery of it. If it's either run down the hallway or stay and look at it, I'm probably going to stay and look at it because if I'm going to die, I'm like, at least I died sawing something at least I died seeing what was killing me.
Yeah.
But
me and Lady Fatblood were walking somewhere, kind of like for exercise, and we were on a top hill, and we sat down and just chill for a little bit, and we were just looking out at the vastness of the area. And as a joke, I said, "So right now, if Godzilla just shows up fighting King Kong, what would you do?"
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, we would watch." Yeah, we would watch.
It's one of those things, man, where, fight or flight, but it's like, I want to experience it. I don't want to fight it or fight it. I want to...
Yeah, I know. Also, I think at this point, it's almost like, now what?
Yeah, like I mean, saying, again, the state of shock, yeah.
Yeah, you're in the state of shock from the beginning the whole way through. You're just kind of like...
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So...
It reminds me of Deep Rising with Treat Williams.
Yes.
Famous catchphrase in that film. Now what? Because something would always escalate.
What? That might be another episode.
Famke Jensen. Whew, that's a good one.
Hey, we'll talk later. Future episodes, we'll see. But yeah, so go ahead and end it. We're going to wrap it up here, right? Wrap up the movie, I mean.
Yeah, so at the end of the movie, we got the big Cthulhu monster. We have the creatures coming. You see that they're like barnacles, or they live in the pockets of this giant Cthulhu, and he's hungry, I guess, or he's tired of this drilling machine fucking up his house. So
he started going King Kong on there.
Yeah,
man.
he's busting down the base. Blowing
Smash.
stuff up, grabbing pipes and shit, and stuff's blowing up. So they're trying to get out of there, and there's 3 escape pods left. And I love how Kristen Stewart's running in between these hallways to try to find which hallway's going to have them. Yeah. And 2 are good to go, and they get Smith in there, and he's like, "No, I'll be the last one." These ladies are like, "Nope, you go." And I just love how everybody's acting naturally in this scene, like, "I'll be the last one. No, I'll be the last one." And Kristen Stewart, again, is fulfilling the role of the captain, which is her character arc. And also she reveals, I didn't catch how she lost her fiance, but her fiance had passed away a while ago. And Smith was like best friends with him. Yeah. So she's kind of like family, right? So she's rescuing him. She's asking her, "Hey, you guys, like," TJ Miller talks about it to him. He's like, "Hey, it looks like, you got something good here," before TJ Miller dies. And then Kristen Stewart tells them, "You love him?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "That's pretty cool." And you see that on script, you're like, that's pretty cool. How'd that line work? Kristen Stewart made that line sing the way she said it, man.
It was like natural delivery.
Mm-hmm. And
none of this, "I'm acting now." Like, hey, we're in a fucked up situation. Hey, it's cool you love him. I think that's awesome. Yeah. All right, get in the fucking pod before I knock you out.
Yeah. And then she punches her.
Yeah.
I loved it. She's like, "Get in the pod." She's like, "No, I'm not leaving you." Boom. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was so Han Solo, that was so Ripley, and that was so great. I mean, it was... when you write a script, you just really hope that your characters are true to themselves, and her doing that was so true to herself, and so... It was just so great, man. It was like such a payoff for a character that is just trying to survive in this shit, right? So they get him in the escape pod. 3rd one doesn't work. They jettison the 2, they're going. But guess what? Cthulhu's got he's got some intelligence going, because he's like, "Oh, these escape pods, children, go get them."
Yeah. They're like, "Oh, no, these motherfuckers, they're trying to get away."
Worst fucking nightmare is to have an intelligent Cthulhu, So Kristen Stewart has to make a decision.
Yeah.
And that's to blow the core.
So I love this scene, blowing the core. But you had issues with the dialogue, the narration, right?
Just the voiceover kind of like came out of nowhere type of thing, where I know it connected to the beginning or tried to, but then at the end it's like, "Well, let's light this bitch up." And then she looks up, and it's just like, what? It would have been better if you had a bit of monologue, but then you just, I mean, it's shot well enough that you get it, but just give me a wide shot of her looking at Cthulhu, and then saying, I mean, if it's one line, she would like, "For Lovecraft," or I don't know. But it just was kind of odd. It just didn't get the right punch.
They wanted to give her "You're terminated" line.
You terminated fucker.
Yeah,
and I think it was more about the turning on the light or something, but just her making the choice and watching the escape pods go up.
Yeah.
You already got it. But, sometimes you kind of want that Randy Quaid line in Independence Day. hello, boys. I'm back. Yeah, I mean, it's classic, you know. So they try to get the... Yeah. Oh, my God. What a film. Randy Quaid.
What fun. But yeah, I mean, and then they make it to the top, and then all these newspaper clippings come out of, you know, the two survivors. They're not giving. We're not going to talk about their interviews, and everything's a
hush hush.
Yeah.
And they even mentioned the name of the company. And what went through my mind was like, is this the same company from Cloverfield? Like, is this a Cloverfield movie again? They get it. They got us again. But no, it was just the drilling company. But yeah, they're trying to keep the shit hush hush. I don't know, man. There's a giant Cthulhu monster walking around blowing up your bases. I don't think the military is going to keep that shit hush hush. What submarines are going to be flying through that shit?
It's Wayland. It's Wayland Yutani.
It's Wayland. I've always wanted to make or see a film that is like this standalone story. It's wonderful, but then at the very end, it's revealed that it's part of a larger, larger thing. Secretly, like not part of the MCU, not marketed that way. It clicks. Yeah. M. Night Shyamalan was a recent filmmaker that was able to accomplish that with Glass, which I haven't seen yet. Yeah, but I appreciated the build up towards it, right? The anticipation was great.
Yeah.
Oh, in Underwater, I really like Smith, his line, what's the worst part of a roller coaster? The line, waiting in line ahead of time.
That was
true, man.
good.
It's the same with scuba diving. The worst part is when you're on that boat and you got to jump in and deflate your BC and travel 60 feet down. That's the hardest part. Once you're down, you're golden. You're good. It's just it's so true. Again, being a professional.
That was a good line to calm her down, man. That was great. Emily was so scared to even get in the suit and even get in the water. Yeah, and that was a great line.
But when she was getting freaked out, I was feeling the freak out. I was feeling the freak out, bro. Where I'm like,
I was happy she actually got some balls later.
Yeah.
Because I was like, please don't be like this for the entire movie till the end.
But
like, be useful. Be useful at some point. But
can you imagine? Well, she drags Kristen Stewart back in when the big Cthulhu monster comes and blows up that pipe. That was a bit of a weird edit because it blows up and Kristen Stewart's flying through the water, but then when it cuts back, it cuts to where her body's in a different position, and it's that type of editing that I'll just notice like, oh wait, you guys skip forward in time during the explosion, so now it looks kind of awkward. It's just small things like that, man.
Yeah.
Like that for me, it may take me out, but this is part of my job. So for a lot of other people, it's totally fine. I get it.
Yeah. Jonesy Cat 79. Jonesy Cat 79 says also the company was called TN as in Lovecraftian.
That's what it was because they made TN pop up in the company in a way that they didn't want you to miss the company name.
Right. Okay.
And I'm like, TN, is that attached to anything? Lovecraftian, yeah.
But yeah, I'm very happy that this wasn't a waste of time for me. And I was like, oh, Cthulhu's in it, I gotta watch it. And then I still hated it. I'm glad I still enjoyed it pretty much off the start. Right off the start, it was no boring bullshit, no bland, vanilla, generic garbage. It was entertaining. It was intense. Had some fun creature designs. And you get a fucking Cthulhu bonus, son. That's right. Cthulhu came up. Hey, I'm Cthulhu. Showed up, destroyed some shit.
I want to go back and just watch that part of that because when that shadow's over the base, you're just like, what the fuck, man? I mean, it does such a better job of both revealing the monster and still not revealing everything, than Cloverfield, I think.
Yeah. Very, very well done. Very well done.
Yeah. So, the funny thing that I wanted to make finally about the point of the couple that makes it, that lives, Smith and Emily.
Okay.
That's a lot of pressure on them to make that relationship work. So many people, their last words to them were like, hey, you better make this work, fucker, before I get my body dragged through a mining suit and before I blow up a Cthulhu monster. Shit.
Could you
That's
imagine?
A lot of pressure.
Get out of the house. Take your ass back to Cthulhu.
You wonder what kind of couples therapy that would be. She's like, I dragged his ass across the entire ocean floor. My friend blew up. A monster bigger than New York City, and he can't even clean the dishes. See, that'd be a fun sequel. That'd be a fun, where it's just them in a relationship for the whole movie. They make it work, and at the end, you see like a little altar to all the people that died on the mining crew. It's a romantic comedy.
You know, if they were smart, well, the problem is that it didn't make its money back. But if they were smart, though, this could have been a new franchise, but just in the Cthulhu verse.
Yeah,
like you don't have to necessarily sequel Underwater, but you can make another movie linking it. You know what I mean? I think done a lot better than the Cloverfield franchise.
Sure. I mean, you have the T and Company is investigating something way out in the forest, and it's some other creature. You know? Where it's the company that's. Why do they pick the specific drill site? You know, you could dive into more of what the captain knew and what the company knows, and I mean, there's a potential there, but it's the multi-dimensional kaiju type of thing, right? Kind of feeding into that, and you know, you're a kaiju fan, so Underwater is something that you really appreciated seeing and what these characters went through, and I think it's a fine film. I definitely recommend it.
Oh man, I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I think I'd love to see the behind-the-scenes stuff, especially with how they made the suits, because the suits looked so real and practical and effective. And
I'm definitely going to buy it. I don't know if it's on 4K, but I'm going to look into it, though.
Jonesy Cat 79 chat asks, is it better than Deep Star 6? I haven't seen that film, so I'd have to defer to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can like Deep Star 6. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's got Cthulhu in it. Come on.
If you were to watch, if you had a choice between Pandorum,
again, I repeat, Cthulhu or giant crab.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, between the two that we watched, Pandorum and Underwater, I think if I could only choose one to watch again, I would watch either one. If like friends wanted to watch it, or if it was just happened to be on, I'd sit through it. But I think if I were to choose one over the other, it would be Underwater.
Yeah. But it's not knocking Pandorum.
No, not at all. Just because of the subject matter and the area. But I would totally recommend both. Yeah,
both of them are exciting. You can definitely get entertainment out of both. And is it really that bad? Is it really as bad as Rotten Tomatoes critic rating of 47%? Come on.
No.
You couldn't even get it to certified fresh?
What was there to complain for that much? How can you give The Last Jedi in the 90s critic rating and Underwater 47?
It's so bad. It's like you couldn't even get it to 60, dude.
Yeah. Oh, it's
come on.
Yeah. I mean, it's a solid B. I mean, it's a solid B, B plus. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Even as much as you've enjoyed it, what would make it an A for you?
It did. It had some jarring editing. It didn't let some scenes breathe, and that's the biggest issue with modern day storytelling and film, and why longer scenes and longer takes stand out, because it allows the actors in the scene to breathe, especially in action. Yeah. And just some of the action got a little bit lost, like when they were underwater in the trench and then the creature hits them and two of them fly away. I couldn't tell who got hit other than the captain. I really couldn't tell what was happening. You know, if that's part of the confusion, sure.
Maybe some wider shots, maybe. See just creature swoop in.
Just go for the wider shots. But the reason why they go for the quicker shots is because it's easier to mask the CGI. It's easier to mask the effects. But just some wider shots to give me a better sense of scale, not just with the facilities, but the facility within the trench. Right. Like I needed something a little bit larger. But smaller nitpicks like that really would make it an A. It really for these two films, it came down to editing. It came down to editing. But everything else, I would say all the crew, the staff should be super proud. And I think, you know, it's been out, a year?
Yeah.
Pandorum's been out for over a decade, and look at how positive we're talking about Pandorum. I'm sure in the same amount of time, Underwater is going to be.
God damn it!
I know, isn't that crazy? I think Underwater is going to inspire. I think what happens in for me is I get inspired, or pieces of films will inspire me.
Right.
And Kristen Stewart's character, the professionalism of the actors, and just the overall way of utilizing this space. I can see many filmmakers being inspired by this film in the future, for sure.
Not surprised. The score is a lot higher, son, for the audience.
Oh yeah.
Audience loved it.
It's the funny thing about January, man. Fuck you, it's January. It's just sending a signal to your audience. Hey, don't waste your time with this one. Wait till it's out on streaming. And you know, some films can be great, but they just get lost in the shuffle of distributors where they decide, we don't believe in this film as much. We're going to release it in January, you know?
Yeah, it's sad. But I don't know, sometimes it's warranted, though, because sometimes there's some horrible movies.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why the month exists. But
so Underwater has survived, chat. It has survived. We have given it the thumbs up. It is not as bad as Rotten Tomato has stated.
No.
And they can go fuck themselves. No, I'm kidding.
No, people can leave a positive review, you know, in the audience section.
All right, let's go to the chat now. Chat, let us know again if we missed, because we're so busy talking about the movies, we may have missed some of your comments here. But let us know what you guys thought of Pandorum and Underwater, and some other underwater creature feature recommendations. We would like to watch those as well.
Well, even TJ Miller says, "Oh, what is this? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea shit." Yeah, exactly, buddy. You know what movie you're in.
All right. Nat enjoys the movie.
All right. I'm scrolling through chat. A lot of people seem to enjoy it.
All right. Nice. Sexy Sumo says, "What's better, Underwater or The Abyss?" It's two different type of films. One, it's a threat. The discovery is the threat. And Abyss, the discovery is friendship or curiosity. When was the last time you saw Abyss?
It's been a while. I was just thinking that. It's been a while.
Yeah, the underwater aliens did not like destroy and kill all the crew. They were kind of welcoming.
Yeah, because I get that confused with Sphere, with Dustin Hoffman and Queen Latifah.
I haven't seen that in so long.
My mind will have the image of both those two movies if either one of the titles are mentioned. So I'm like, it's been a while. I gotta categorize.
Let's see. We have here.
Yes,
Abyss
is a good one.
Give Underwater a watch. All right. Tribal Chief says Cthulhu. I feel like seafood now. All right. Let's see here.
Lobster.
Orlando's recommending it. The Man Hammer says Underwater is spit on my neck. Fantastic. Tribal Chief gives Pandorum 82 and Underwater 79. That's right. Let's see. All right. Akno Goji. He liked Underwater, said it was entertaining. All right, cool. Right.
Underwater gave me confidence in order to buy a ticket for a movie starring Kristen Stewart in the future. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
Unlike the other Twilight guy in Pandorum. The young Dennis Quaid.
Was he in Twilight?
I think he was in one of them, man. I haven't seen those movies.
Sure. With
chisel
like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. Sure, he's got rock hard vampire abs. That's what I told my trainer. What do you want? I want vampire abs. This is Pacific Northwest, right?
Jonesy Cat liked Underwater. All right. Okay. There you go, Gilbert. It's on HBO Max. Give it a shot, buddy. He says you get Pandorum 70s. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See? The Movie Dojo Army, they know what's up. They know what's up.
Good taste. Good taste.
Right.
You recognize what the film is, too. It's like, oh, this is an Avengers Endgame. Nobody said it is. Oh, it's not Shakespeare. Nobody said it is. It's a sci-fi adventure. Pandorum is a bunch of Germans and British people trying to put it together. And for Underwater, who knows who was behind it, but it felt like an international crew as well. And
and
international flair.
that's why there's so many different genres of film, and it's like it's a plethora. We have a plethora out there. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's great. Can you imagine watching the same genre all the time and like nothing new? Got to mix it up.
No, you got to mix it up.
When you feel like watching Goodfellas, then you watch Goodfellas. You feel like watching Evil Dead 2, Electric Boogaloo. Watch some Evil Dead 2. You know what I'm saying?
Bad.
Enjoy it. Have an
I'm the
open
guy
mind.
with a gun. That's from the third one. That's from the third Evil Dead. Yeah, but genre's great, but what's the beauty about genre is that it's self-referential, and a lot of times an Alien paved the way for so many of these films. That when you have a moment where you think T.J. Miller and Smith are going to get killed by that creature coming out of the guy's body, like, oh no, we took it out with our weapons. Like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it's kind of you're able to flip the trope on its head a little bit, play with it, bring your own style and your remix, but don't sacrifice the characters, or at least the character arcs. And that's what they did with Underwater. So, you know, like when I see critics like, oh, it doesn't add anything, it doesn't do this, doesn't do that. It added a goddamn giant monster underwater that's going to creep me the fuck out when I go scuba diving again. So, yeah, I think it's added to the film repertoire.
Yeah, Jaws did it too. Jaws did it first back in the day. Nobody wanted to go swimming. You know what I found fascinating? Roger Corman, we all love that guy for what he's accomplished. Just tons of B to C movies, but there's some good work out there for Roger Corman. But it was interesting because when Jaws came out, he literally said, "We're done." This is a real quote from him. He said, "We're finished," because now that was his genre, the monster movie type movie. Yeah. That was his thing. So now Jaws it's not really a monster flick, but it still has that creature feature aspect to it, but it's so much more. And it's a smash. So he was just like, "Oh, we're fucked." I found that fascinating.
But you can kind of say the same thing with Star Wars, right? Star Wars was a remix of the serials and Flash Gordon, and taking the orchestrations of the different planets. I mean, the orchestration of Mars is so close to The Empire Strikes Back, but it's because they were influenced by it. They went, "I love these things. Let me tell my own version of it. Put this element together. Put this element together here. You mix it together, and oh my God, you have the greatest story ever told." So there's so much beauty, I feel, in that. But what's tough, what's more difficult today compared to like if a film like Underwater was made, let's say 10 years ago, is there's so much noise. There's so many things out there that people can watch, and people's time isn't just the films, but it's the YouTube streams, the gaming streams, the video games that are coming out, all that stuff. So you have to really punch through, and if you can't do it in 15 seconds in a trailer, you're not going to get people to watch. And I think both of these films were hurt by that, as you said at the very beginning. Yeah,
it's sad, but luckily there's badasses like us. That's right.
That's right.
The Movie Dojo Army chat. Spread the word. That's right. Spreading the word, letting people know that these movies are really good, and people should give them a shot and check it out. I don't know, out of curiosity, if you're bored and you got nothing to do, did you check out our Alien 3 stream? Unless you hopped in, is Alien 3 really that bad? We that was another episode we did. I don't know if you were in that stream, but if you like in the comment, like if
you're I popped in for a bit. And
check it out. I mean, watch the rest of it when you can.
No, for sure. I was able to. Sometimes when I play World of Warcraft, I'll listen to you guys in the background. Even if I remember one time I was in chat, you're like, "Oh, Joshua, I didn't know you were still here." I'm like, "Oh, I marathon this bitch the whole time." But the thing about Alien 3, and when you start to learn about the things that were happening in order for the film to get made, and the struggles and issues with the script,
it's fucked up.
It's fucked up. And it goes off this principle, and
Thanks,
I have
Marcos.
the same. What's up, Marcos Flores? You have the same. You have the same kind of issue with Terminator: Dark Fate, where it's like you were with these characters, you went through hell with them,
right?
And then all of a sudden you're introduced to a new scenario where none of that stuff really mattered. It's like, that's such a blow to the audience that love those previous experiences, it's like you're asking too much. You're asking too much of the audience and the character. And I think that's kind of the core issue with Alien 3. I mean, fucking Hicks is dead as soon as you show up, and the guy's it's crucial in saving them in 2, right? So it's it's a gut punch.
Yeah, like I said, I can't argue against people who hate it.
Yeah,
like I get it. Like me and Leigh Fablo, we totally understand. We just looked at it from a different perspective. But Omegon 32, thanks for the dono, man. He says, "Hail, Phat Samurai Guy. Sorry I'm late. Saw Underwater. Good one." And the Alpha Legion bends the knee to the awesome Phat Samurai Guy and Leigh Fablo and Joshua Gray. That's right. You're joining the cult. The Movie Dojo Army is soon going to be the Joshua Gray Army. That's right. We're going to show some support back. Cool, chat, make sure you guys, after we're done streaming here, make sure you go to Joshua Gray's channel and subscribe. He's got a lot of great content there. He has the voice of an angel.
Oh, thanks.
That's right. If you're having a bad day, just playing one of his videos in the background. His soothing, angelic voice will calm all your... I'm trying. Hey, you're gonna pay me, right?
Hey, yes, indeed, right, cool. Man. You get a commission off that. We're all trying. Yeah. We're all trying.
Man. But yeah, back to Alien 3 really quick. We won't talk about Alien 3 that much, but I totally get because that was my first reaction too. I was like, oh no,
But they expanded the lore. The Alien 3, I believe, I think chat pointed this out during your episode. So again, you guys should all check it out because it was a good conversation. I believe Alien 3 is what introduced that the aliens would take on the characteristics of their hosts. So you have the dog that started to act like a dog. I don't know if there was any other ones in that film in particular, but then you think about Aliens versus Predator and the Predator aliens that they're big hulking menaces. You're like, shit, this is like from the video games, So they introduced that.
Have you heard, since you're kind of in the know when it comes to the movies and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
A lot more so than me. I find out from you, but the Predator movie. So what's going on? Do you know anything about the new Predator movie coming out? Any news on it? Anything?
No. What I do know is the fallout.
It's its own thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, what I do know was the Shane Black effort didn't work.
No.
I got a lot of respect for Shane Black. Shane Black was in the original Predator, so this was a pretty cool kind of like full circle for him.
I really enjoyed The Nice Guys.
Yeah, Nice Guys is fun. Fun film. Good, witty script, adult humor. I like that film a lot, too.
But I think the studio, again, fucked that movie up, didn't they?
Yep. It's these committees, man. It's these committees that are so reliant on their profits coming from China. Yeah. They're like, well, we have to make this work. We have to make that work. We can't do... I mean, look at the entire...
This is for the committee.
Exactly.
For the committee. Fucking up all our favorite movies, goddammit.
Yeah. Han Solo said it best. He's like, I'm not going to be dictated to by a committee. And then Leia's chasing after him. I'm not a committee, It's exactly that, because somebody will show the film to a focus group, and the focus group will say, oh, I didn't like how this happened in the film, even though it's crucial to the entire plot and the thematic elements of the film. So then somebody from the studio who doesn't understand the intention or the storytelling beat instead sees the profit margin that they could lose if they don't cater to that group. So they make the change, and they realize the change fucks everything up. That happens a lot. Filmmakers, go ahead.
It's just like common sense, though. Like, why would some of the changes for some of these movies? Like, why would you change? Like, why would you do that? You've already have other predators teaming up with the mercenaries to fight the Uber Predator. There's a couple of clips from that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Why did you take all of that out? Like, I don't get it, man.
No, it's really, really frustrating, because even as audience members, you can see what they were going for. You could see the kernels of it, and you're like, oh, the what ifs. Like, and that's how half these fuckers have built a career off YouTube, is all the what ifs and what if I did it videos. Right. But it's true. Yeah. I mean, the entire Star Wars fandom menace, which half those people are crazy now, it turns out, but the other half hit the nail on the head. This is not right. This doesn't fit Star Wars lore. I'm unhappy about this. I love women. What the fuck are you talking?
Yeah.
The natural, authentic, this doesn't add up. And it's because of committees. It's because whatever type of vision or decision making creatively got mixed in business wise, right? And it's very tough because at the end of the day, Samurai, business is what makes the films in the first place, right? You have to get the money borrowed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You just have to have everybody believe in the story. Even the shareholders, even the investors, they have to believe in the story.
Yeah.
Before you even take it to a focus group. Otherwise, you're just making a film paint by numbers. And it's gonna be like pop music today. It's gonna be a hit for a season, and then nobody's gonna ever remember it.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens when you chase trends. You cash
in. That's why I
listen
to metal. That's why I'm a metalhead. No, I'm kidding.
But you know, with Predator, you know, the Mandalorian season 2 finale gave me a lot of hope.
Yes.
And a lot of optimism overall. Yeah. But it also showed that people who respect the core of what this character is and combine it with the actor that brought it to life, combine it with the character effects that bring it to life, combine it with the principles of using a puppet over CGI. I mean, all of these things are what make the magic happen, and it takes a team of people. The team that made Predator happen, they don't exist as a team anymore. I mean, this was years and years ago.
Yeah.
So already when somebody says, oh, we're going to do Predator, Predator 2, Predator 3, whatever, if it's not the same creative team, I already can't have the same expectation. And unfortunately, that's what corporations do. They go, oh, it's Predator, so you know it's going to be good. Like, no, I don't. I don't now, because you fucking ruined that.
That's your committee voice from now on at all times.
Because they look at the word.
Your committee, you got to use that voice. It's Predator, damn it!
Yeah. We're not going to have any lightsaber fights in The Last Jedi! that's the final say of the committee. Yeah.
Make sure you don't cut out the scene where he drinks blue titty milk. It's going to be exciting, smashing.
Yep. Yeah. We're going to make a third Death Star! We gotta sell toys, goddammit!
And check this out. It's gonna be even bigger than the previous one.
It's gonna be a whole fucking planet! You know, what's so frustrating is that every creative person that wanted to bring that film to life, any film to life, they're not, in my experience, they're not showing up on set going, how can we disappoint the fans today? You know, that's not really the vibe. Yeah. Everybody is there trying to make it a success. And when the people who are not on the set, who didn't write the script, who don't know what lens to pick, let alone what camera's being used, yet they get to be the ones that dictate the major story beats because they're in charge of the money. And that's where you have the complete disconnect from the audience. Star Wars, the sequel trilogy, I respect technically, but the story did not work. The finances prove that. And Mandalorian Season 2 proves that. When you have competent people that know what they're doing, let them do it. Most of the time they'll be successful. You know, it really was a culling and a personal kind of call to action to go, now I know why George Lucas stepped away from Hollywood. Now I know why Peter Jackson prefers to stay in New Zealand, is because it feels like George Lucas and Lucasfilm and his ranch and Skywalker was surrounded by all the audio team, the video effects, all the people that make the magic. And all those same people that make the magic, they're making Mandalorian. Ben Burt, the audio guy, he played Boba Fett in the prequels. And he got to play him again in Mandalorian.
Yeah.
You know, that's where the magic is. You can't sprinkle some fairy dust and throw some corporate money and say it's the same magic, but it's not the same people. Gary Kurtz, producer of Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back, he helped direct all the Dagobah scenes with Yoda. Gary Kurtz was instrumental in the success of Star Wars. Gary Kurtz did not return for Return of the Jedi because he felt that it was being too commercialized and that the Ewoks were being sold for toys. You know, so it's not... I still love Return of the Jedi, but it's not the same people, not the same magic. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I got some requests. Hold on. Oh, it's me, Austin.
You gotta do You're Fired. Go ahead.
Oh. You're fired.
You're fired.
Shit, the committee voice. The committee is fired. Sounds like Nick Nolte taking a shit. That's where I'm You're a Mandalorian.
That's it. Vince McMahon's voice is committee from now on the studio. That's it. Oh my god. Oh,
right. Nick Nolte should have read that Last Jedi script and goes, Rian Johnson, what is this shit? I applaud your efforts for trying to subvert expectations, but this is ridiculous. Why the fuck would you cast Benicio del Toro and waste his talents? That's what the committee should have said, folks. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mr. Joshua Gray.
Yes, please do. That's why he's here. That's why I got him on the show, man. He's too entertaining. Oh my god, you got me crying over here.
Hey, you set me up, man. I just knock him down.
Whatchamacallit?
I have spoken.
Marco says, "I'll take the Ewoks over Porgs."
Yeah, because the Ewoks actually were part of the deeper story of the indigenous people rising up and stopping the invaders.
Oh my god. Let's see here. Dan,
the Undertaker. Those flames can only mean that Kane is coming.
The Man Hammer says, "Have I seen Drive Angry and a Great Value Stone Cold Steve Austin? Great Value? I don't know what that is. I'm not sure what that is. I have Drive Angry on Blu-ray. I have not watched it yet, but thanks for reminding me that I own it."
That's Nicolas Cage, right?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it either. I've seen Drive with Ryan Gosling. That movie really surprised me. I rented it. I liked it so much that I bought it.
I got that and the soundtrack's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Drive Angry I heard was just a lot of fun. I heard it's a fun action flick, so I just haven't got around it. You might get a sense of a theme here with a lot of, hey, have you seen this? I have it on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet.
Hey, physical media, it's good to have, man. You know, streaming is the future, but it just makes physical media that much more important. Just like vinyl. You can't get the sound of vinyl through a digital medium, and you can't get a crystal clear picture outside of disc. Sony, with their streaming service, is now saying, oh, you can get it, but it's like, well, I have 1 gig up and down internet speeds in SeaTac, and I feel like a goddamn god. So how's the rest of America going to enjoy 4K? It's like, hey, we're going to boot up a movie in 4K. We're going to give it 6 hours to load, so we'll check it out later. You know, I don't know why I turned into David Lynch, but that's how long it's going to take to load Twin Peaks in 4K.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I mean, both sides have their perks, you know, like streaming and their perks, but
I mean, I haven't bought a physical video game in years. It's all been digital for me.
Yeah, it's probably is that easier in terms of saving space, right?
Yeah, it saves space. If I want to get a collector's edition or a statue that comes with a collector's edition, I'll consider it. But with the digital receipt and the way these game platforms and Steam have existed for years now, I have games that I bought on Steam on PC, like the Mass Effect trilogy. Mass Effect 2 is one of the best video games of all time. 3 is one of the biggest disappointments of all time. Speaking of sci-fi disappointments, right? The knowledge that I can just go back and play anytime on any computer that I download in the future is great, because I still have VHS tapes that my dad decided to keep because I told my parents, hey, you can probably get rid of all of them. They're like, oh, we're going to keep them just in case for the grandchildren. I said, your grandchildren are not going to be using VCRs, but cool. But now, like, VHS is retro, and people are getting those players.
Decoration now.
Yeah, it's a token. You know, it uses tokens, so there's some value there, in retro and whatnot, and that's always going to exist in human culture, in my opinion. There's always going to be that clinging for the real, the tangible, especially after being in quarantine for a long time, man. I think people are going to kind of crave for something they can touch. Right. Yeah, that's true. But for video games, it's because you have that library that's why I think it's different than film. It's because the video game will always be the newest version that you can download. You know, aren't they remastering the Mass Effect games? In one they are. Direction? Yeah, I'm gonna be making a lot of content around that. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll be doing some live plays. You play the third one? I'll play through the third one and explain to everybody how to fuck up a franchise.
That should be the name of the video.
What went wrong? Well,
yeah.
The first one is such an amazing setup.
Yeah.
And introduces characters that will stand the test of time when it comes to the mythos of video games. The second one is like The Empire Strikes Back. It's focused on missions so you know your crew better. Each of the crew members have, different personalities, but you give a shit. And the amount of time you invest in your crew makes a difference in the last battle and how you organize and strategize with your crew. So all the side missions, everything that you do in the game, it all matters. And all the missions are actually compelling. The love story is compelling because you can kind of choose who you want to pursue. Right. So it just felt like they distilled all of the best of what they learned about those type of story-driven RPGs and perfected it in the second one. And then took a giant shit.
Oh, man.
Well, ambition. I think they just were overly ambitious, and the studio was telling them they had to pump out the game in a certain time frame. And just the narrative was not going to stand up to what we expected as an audience. But yeah, it's...
now that they're remastering it, why don't they just fix the ending? Fuck it. Why don't they have an alternate choice? If they're redoing everything...
Yeah,
make a new ending.
Or I would at least have an extension. But yeah, Jonesy Cat 79 again talks about the same problem I've been talking about earlier. The same people that made the magic of the first games don't work at that company anymore.
Oh.
And so the expectation of them cranking out another hit that's going to feel, or at least have the same semblance of quality, it's not. Yeah. And they tried to release a fourth game. They forced a fourth game.
Oh, right.
Called,
I saw the glitches. Oh my god.
Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, I played it for about 2 minutes and went, wow, no.
2 minutes already.
Yeah. I don't eat undercooked meals. I don't play underbaked games.
Yeah.
It's a waste of time.
Speaking of, I'm assuming you're not playing Cyberpunk right now.
Dude, I worked with CD Projekt Red on their previous game, Witcher and
3?
Gwent. I made a video series for them that you can look up right now called Be a Pro. I got this slick, kick-ass haircut that the Witcher kind of had with my head shaved on the side. But yeah, it was breakdown guides on how to maximize your gameplay in the end game, like the best armor breakdowns, the best strategies for your builds if you wanted to be like sleek and fast or more of a beefier role. And I loved working with CD Projekt Red, the developer. They're perfectionists. And I would work with them. Go ahead.
Do you have Cyberpunk on PC? Maybe that's where it's running. Good,
yeah, I have it on PC. Yeah. So leading up to Cyberpunk being released, 2 summers ago, I was working at E3, the big video game convention in LA, and my friends at CD Projekt Red were there, and they were so excited. You could tell they were so excited, and they asked me, "Hey, are you going to be in the audience? Are you going to be there?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there." Like, all right, great.
Yeah.
So I'm in the audience, and that's when they revealed Keanu Reeves was in the game. And I had no idea. And then Keanu Reeves showed up, and that's one of the most electrifying moments I've ever been a part of.
Yeah. You're breathtaking.
Yeah, exactly. That moment, right? So this goodwill and this hype from the gameplay footage that I saw back in 2018 and 2019, I'm super ecstatic and excited for this game. Then it's delayed, which I don't mind delays. I'd rather it be right the first time. It's delayed again. And the pandemic hits, but they still release it.
Right.
I played the first hour and a half, and I streamed it as a nomad.
Yeah.
And 2 things became very clear to me. 1, all the content that I'm playing, I've seen because they've showed it, which is cool. It's fine. It's when you get later in the game is when you see the new stuff. But 2, this doesn't feel done. I mean, there's a feeling that you get when you played enough video games, like it's not loading as fast as it should. The frame rate's not as good as it should. The driving feels off.
Right.
The NPCs walking around the town don't feel like they have their own lives. Now, if you look at it as a game you've never played a game before, like, this game looks amazing. But this game promised so many features that weren't there. They promised, one of the biggest feature was to have third-person cutscenes, so the camera would be, in the room, and you'd see your character have dialogue and be part of a scene. They took all that out, so all the clothing and the customization of your character, you hardly ever see it. That was the biggest fuck this for me because I don't like playing a game Where if the story narrative thread is always going to be first person, that I'm like, doesn't matter what jacket I wear, what pants I wear, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I just felt that if they promise features, and if it's having this many bugs at the get-go, it's not for me right now. I'll play it when it's done, when they add more features or they fix the bugs.
I think that's what everybody else is doing. They're just waiting.
Yeah, it wasn't the game that I was sold. It was not the game that I was sold.
Right.
And that is a lie,
well,
which sucks.
Yeah.
Because I love these people. I doesn't feel like they would do this if it wasn't for shareholders with a knife to their throat. You know, why else would you ruin a reputation like this?
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool that you were part of the Witcher 3 creation, man. That's pretty dope. What do you think of the series?
Of the Witcher series, the TV series? I think it's great. I mean, the fact that Henry Cavill plays the video game and understands the fandom here in the West really started to get to know The Witcher because of the video game series. The book is a popular book in Poland. It takes the ancient Eastern European folklore and folk tales and puts a spin on them, which is why it was very, very popular, but also seeps into the deeper sadness and misery and despair that Eastern Europe experienced during World War I and World War II. So it's more dark, grim, but great. And I think they did a real good setup with the series.
Yeah, I enjoyed the first season. When is the second season coming out? This year, right?
Maybe this fall.
Okay. It's going to be. Yeah. It's not going to focus that much on Henry, right? Because he got injured, right?
I didn't read that headline about him having an injury.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that one of the biggest complaints was the jumping back and forth in the timeline in the first season, and it's a lot to set up. It's a lot between the different empires and with Ciri and her family, but you got the meat and potatoes of the setup. So when Ciri and Geralt meet in the forest, you could just feel the weight of both those characters and fate intertwining them. And that's what they had to accomplish in the first season, and they did. So I think they're going to do even better in the second season. And the other thing that they did very, very well was Yennefer. I think they cast Yennefer perfectly.
Yeah. I enjoyed it, man. And Cavill was a badass.
Yeah. The sword, how quick it is.
Fucking people up.
Yeah. I mean, what's funny is you have Superman playing a mutant.
Pretty much.
You know, so
and now he's Sherlock Holmes on Netflix.
He's all genres. All genres. Yeah, I want him to still play Superman. I think he's a great Superman. You know, I had my qualms with Man of Steel in my 20s, and then I watched it again in my 30s, and I liked it much more as a film because I could see the bigger picture Zack Snyder was going for.
Yeah.
I was used to the Christopher Reeve, Tom Welling, Smallville Superman, and that's not the Man of Steel Superman. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. This is a darker world, starker world.
Yeah. But I was the same way when I watched it. I was happy about the action and the badassity because I've always wanted to see Superman be a badass on screen with epic fights. I've been wanting to see that for years, even though I grew up with the Christopher series. But I felt empty, like something didn't feel right when I came out of the theater. Even though I liked the action, something didn't feel right. I don't know why. And then when it came out on Blu-ray way later, I watched it again, and then I liked it more watching it again.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes, because my expectations were like through the roof, though. I was like,
I mean, so were so many people because what was attached to Man of Steel is that it was being produced by Christopher Reeve, right? So we were expecting the same level of Dark Knight. And this...
Christopher Reeve? You mean Nolan?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Christopher Nolan. Yeah. Okay. Christopher Nolan. My apologies. Christopher Nolan, The Dark Knight. So you have that battling against the expectation of the Christopher Reeve audience. And so after the dust settled, getting past that point, you see the film for what it is. And it stands up. It does stand up. I just think that was a real tough call from Zack Snyder and his team to make. Yeah. But the overall, picture of Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and then Justice League is Superman makes the full arc of him being the symbol of truth, justice, and what should be, I used to say the American way, but what should be the American way, what should be truth and justice for all. And to see him become that emblem, that's a captivating story. That helps us get out of the 9/11 attitude that Man of Steel is being produced in and into a brighter world that we all enjoyed.
Yeah.
But we really didn't get that. No. We had a committee go, let's put Doomsday in that movie. Let's kill Superman totally unearned. We gotta catch up to MCU, goddammit.
Make sure we kill Superman off at the end too. Yeah. And don't
worry, Lois will go find a spear that's underwater.
Yeah. Don't make Doomsday look like Doomsday. Make him look like a gray Shrek with no dick.
Yeah. They just tried to make Batman v Superman too many things at once.
Yeah.
And that's why...
And that's another movie where, again, I had the same kind of reaction. Like, I loved the badassity. I loved the warehouse fight. I loved all that. But something still felt like it was missing. I was still disappointed. But then later, when I watched the extended...
When you saw the director's cut, the extended cut, when the plot actually made more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, again, it's that committee.
Are you going to review the committee? Are you going to review the Zack Snyder cut?
Oh yeah, for sure. I support him.
We're going to review it too. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream or regular review. We'll see.
I look forward to him being able to accomplish his vision, and I know it's part of the grander scheme for AT&T in order to have content, but there needs to be some motherfucking healing in this space.
Yeah.
Because if you are, if you are beyond excited, your wildest dreams are coming true to be a part of a Superman or Batman production.
Yeah.
And you got to go through this much bullshit. Look what happened to Ben Affleck, right?
Yeah.
Struggling with things in personal life as well.
Yeah.
But that sure didn't help. So it's like everybody involved needs this. The audience needs it. The studio needs it. The actors need it, so that they can feel they did this story right and these characters right. If not, it's always going to feel like a chip on their shoulder. Always.
Yeah.
And you don't want that. You don't want that.
No, and I got a good feeling that the Snyder cut will be. It may not be what everybody hopes it will be, but I'm pretty sure we're guaranteed it's going to be better than the Justice League movie that we got a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it needs to be.
Technically, it's already better. Like it's already, But
I remember seeing that film in theaters, and I shared this on Popcorn Planet. But I remember seeing it because I had literally just got out of a show hosting for Warner Brothers for Injustice 2 for a tournament they were doing. And I forget what city we were in. I'm pretty sure we were in Chicago for the finals. And it was on ESPN and everything.
Are they making a third game?
Maybe.
Oh, okay.
I do not officially know what's coming out next for NetherRealm. I just know that they're supporting Mortal Kombat 11 longer than any game.
Okay.
And we just went through a console generation change, so I wouldn't expect to hear any news of a new game for NetherRealm until the summer, if that.
Right.
But I would think they would be, or something. Because everybody compares Man of Steel or the evil Superman and Batman v Superman Justice or Dawn of Justice as Injustice Superman, and then Zack Snyder even said it's kind of inspired by Injustice Superman. And it was like everybody wants to see Injustice. They want to see Injustice on screen, right? Superman kills the Joker because Joker tricks Superman into killing his own pregnant wife. Right. Holy fuck! Yeah. First scene, Superman kills Joker, and then it's the story of tyranny. It's the story of how America can go to tyranny, and that's what Injustice is all about. It's because it's been so heartbroken that it doesn't want anything else to go.
Do you think the studio would even try? Do you think the studio would allow this type of content to be made into a film or series? It's pretty heavy.
Not with Superman. Not today.
Yeah. They'll bitch y'all. They'll bitch out.
We need a bright, shining Superman today.
Yeah.
Like just as a storyteller, but also trying to put myself in the shoes of an executive.
Yeah.
Right now, if I'm looking at a whole slate of films and I have a choice to make a film that comes out that month and have it be a little bit more inspiring, and it can be, it can be dark, but just, has a good message that people are going to gravitate to, or I can have a fuck you movie. I'm going to lean towards the happier stuff because we're in a real fucked up time right now.
Right.
And I see studios making those decisions monetarily, trying to have a beat on the culture. So if we're going to have a future Superman with Henry Cavill, I see it as like him fighting Brainiac, saving the day. But then the reason why studios are hesitant, or at least audience members are hesitant about Superman, is like, oh, he's boring. I go, no, that's just lazy writing. You can put Superman in almost any situation and it becomes captivating. Why?
Exactly.
Because everything around him is made of cardboard.
Yeah.
And if he has that power, and if he doesn't save everybody, is that an indictment on him? There's so many facets of what it means to be a god that can be explored that haven't been explored. I don't mean to be hijacking your show. I'm sorry, but I'll share one more thought.
No, this is the show. We're just talking, dude.
Yes. We got chat going. People are enjoying it. But the story, Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, by Alan Moore.
Right.
If there was to be like a send-off Superman film, it would be that film. Because that film is that story is beautiful. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Oh yeah, no. I
at the end,
read
Superman,
the book and have the animated movie.
Because it's the book is they're interviewing Lois. After the fact, after Superman's been gone, career-wise and whatnot, and Lois is married with a kid.
Actually, no, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of All-Star Superman, I think.
Yeah, All-Star's great. But the Man of Tomorrow film, the Man of Tomorrow film that just came out, it's a different story. That one's more of kind of like year one of Superman. This one it starts with Lois and Lois being interviewed. And she details like the final days of Superman.
Right.
But then you learn at the very end that, he never really disappeared. He just gave up his powers. He's the guy that Lois is married to. He just has gray hair. Like nobody recognizes Superman because he has gray hair and glasses, but that's the big reveal at the end. And I go, oh fuck, that's so good. They did kind of a snippet of it in the multiverse event on the CW show. The CW shows with Tom Welling's Smallville, where he gave up his powers to raise his family. Okay. I just think that would be who's Superman now? Superman is the middle-aged guy in his 40s who's going to help his neighbor get a cat out of the tree. It would just be so cool to have something like that instead of it's gonna be 16 9/11s. He's gonna blow up buildings everywhere and then break Zod's neck. Fuck you, Zod. Superman gonna throw a goddamn punch and Superman returns. He's gonna break somebody's neck in this film. God damn it. God, I can hear the echoes from Burbank now. IHOP's gonna be a sponsor.
But yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, including myself in my 20s, didn't gravitate towards Man of Steel, because I was craving a Superman I was craving a Luke Skywalker.
Right.
I was craving a hero that, he's going to have pitfalls and struggles, but watch him soar, Yeah. And we get a little bit of that at the end of Justice League. You can kind of see the glimpse of the return, the resurrected Superman. I believe in justice. Bam! Punch to the face type shit.
Which we probably will not get in the Zack Snyder version.
We'll get him in a black suit.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be on the floor laughing and giggling with Cyborg. I don't think that's going to be in there. But as long as it's good, man. And I at the end of Shazam, when the Cavill's body or somebody else in the suit showed up as a little cameo, I thought that was kind of fun. Mm-hmm. Him just kind of walking in, hey, I got a special guest today. Superman walked in. That was kind of fun.
You think about it, would have been better if Cavill could have showed up, but they were going through all sorts of negotiations and bullshit and whatnot. But I like Shazam. It was a fun movie. Shazam.
I was not expecting it to be fun. I looked at that suit, and I was dogging it in the trailers. I was like, and then again, somebody said, "No, it's fun. Check it out." I'm like, "Really?" And then me and the Fat Blood watched it. We were like, dude, that was like legitimately a good time. Like I was not like the best part of the movie when the villain Mark Strong is like far away giving villain speech. I will destroy you, Shazam.
Yeah.
He's so far away.
What?
Shazam's like, can't hear you.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
I want a sequel to it. Well, but we're getting Black Adam. So, grow the threat, grow the universe.
What do you want with the Black Adam movie and what you don't want with the Black Adam movie?
I want the characters.
They need to keep him as an anti-hero, though.
Yeah, I want it to be complicated.
Yes.
I want Shazam to be simple, and I want Black Adam to be complicated.
This is why you're the Nerd Wars champ.
But with what they're trying to do with Hawkman and Hawkgirl and the other characters that are involved,
they're in that movie.
Yeah, they've been cast. Stay true to the characters from the comic books, but make sure that it adds the necessity of the complexity for today's modern audience.
Right.
And if you can sit down and sprinkle that in with the charm of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, I think you got a movie that's going to make $1 billion. But if you want to look for a representation of Black Adam that people like, I'm not saying it's a super strong representation because there's a lot of characters in the game, but look at Injustice 2. Black Adam was like the strongest character in the competitive scene when the game first came out. Yeah. But just for Kahndaq. Fuck other nations. We've been screwed over too many times. I don't trust anybody else. I'm in it for me and my family and Kahndaq. And that's the type of Black Adam we need to see.
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to get that. We need to see Attitude Era Rock.
Yeah, yes. I want as long as we get that gray in there, man.
Yeah.
And I
want Dr. Fate to show up. That'd be cool.
Ooh, that would be pretty cool. That would be dope.
If there needs to be somebody that can peer through the multiverse and have a better understanding of what's happening, I would prefer a Dr. Fate character rather than a Michael Keaton Batman Returns. Oh, I love put Michael Keaton in every scene. I'm in. But just somebody that understands the mysticism era of it in the DC world, which would be comparable to Doctor Strange.
Have you seen the Justice League, the Dark Justice films?
Yes.
The animated ones? Those are good,
Constantine
man.
and Zatanna, both the voice actors do a great job.
Yeah.
So
I'm okay. Like, I like the Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. I like it. But I thought I can't remember his name, Matt something.
The gentleman that plays on the TV show?
Yeah.
And also did the voiceover? Yeah.
I kind of thought he looked and acted like the character a lot better, in my opinion. But if they want to make a movie and want to make money, they're going to cast Keanu Reeves again.
have them both show up in the multiverse movie.
No,
Flash movie. Yeah, have them both show up. Have them both solve a case together in the second act.
Great.
And then it moves on to the next people. You could shoot it in a day.
Yeah.
The multiverse scene with the actor that plays Constantine in the TV show and also with Devil, or the guy from Lucifer, was beautiful. They just grabbed the actor from Lucifer, said, "Hey, can you shoot with us for a half day? Great, we'll have you do it in this back alley." They did it, worked perfectly in the story. Like, that's...
Do you like
That's
this
when
show?
magic happens, when you have people working together like that.
Do you like Lucifer?
I haven't watched it, but I've liked everything I've seen.
People are recommending it to me.
Without seeing an episode.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I said, I've liked everything I've seen without having seen an episode.
Okay.
Of like clips and the integration on the CD,
Yeah.
Yeah, but people, it was so good. People wanted it back. Somebody at Netflix was like, "Get a goddamn season again of Lucifer. I want to see him naked."
Make sure he's greased up all the time, too.
I want them abs. Yeah. Yeah.
But it is a DC property, though.
Yes, Lucifer's DC property, yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Maybe that's why I'm getting people recommending it for me then to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna. The actor seems so charming and charismatic, and I kind of like playing with a whole Judeo-Christian stuff here and there, as long as it's not too crazy. I think Constantine kind of is my limit of those elements being incorporated, because it's still within the realm of mysticism and magic, and be it demons, angels, whatever. Yeah. Because that shit can hurt Superman, not just kryptonite.
Yeah.
Superman is susceptible to magic as well, and that stuff's like, because I always thought it'd be more fascinating if like the magical realm opened up in response to Superman rather than Doomsday, or
that would be
Zod or another alien.
Interesting. That would be interesting. You think they would have did that already with bringing in some? Well, they kind of brought in. They brought in the chick in Suicide Squad. What was her name? Enchantress. Yeah, it was Enchantress, right?
Yeah.
Was that the closest thing to bringing in a character with magical powers?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, we have Enchantress, and now we have Shazam.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
June Moon. Yeah, Enchantress was magic.
Fingers crossed for the future of the DCEU. I mean, we just want good movies. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Joker.
Yeah,
I love that film. I still love that film. And some of my favorite critics are like, "Oh, that film." It's like
it's Taxi Driver and King of Comedy all over again. It doesn't bring anything new to the genre.
I'm like, okay, then Star Wars is just Flash Gordon, bro. If you're gonna have that same mentality, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or people are so wrapped up in how they identify political machinations in media that if they see that it's a white dude hurting, they go, "Oh, it's Trump, it's pro-Trump." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are people in Latin America wearing the face paint and trying to take down their own government? No, it's not. Please understand nuance here, okay? Can we please? The acting is so good. The story is so good that even though I saw the film 4 times in theaters, and I told all my friends. I was bartending at the time. I dressed up as Joker on Halloween and walked around Seattle.
Shit.
I had people pulling over, taking photos. I had drunk guys going, "We live in a society!" out of their car when I'm walking around. I went to a club. I did the Joker laugh on a guy's Instagram, and people were freaking the fuck out. Dude, it was one of the best Halloweens ever. That was here in Seattle. So I lived in LA for about 10 years, and I used to go to Jim Lee, the head of DC. I'd go to his Halloween parties at his house. Great dude, great parties.
Dude, he's my favorite artist, man.
Yeah, dude, Hush is my favorite.
Alex Ross.
Hell yeah, Alex Ross follows me on Twitter. They both follow me on Twitter. I talk to Jim Lee here and there.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
Awesome. I trust his leadership and his Halloween parties. Does a great job. I remember the first time I went to his party. I didn't know I was going to his house. A friend of mine was inviting me. Yeah. And I was like, all right, I'm going to dress up as Venom. So I had a Venom shirt and a leather jacket, and I had slick back hair as Eddie Brock, and I show up. I'm like, this is Jim Lee's house. This is DC. Fuck! Like, I thought that. But no, there were Jedis there. There were other people there dressed as other costumes, so I was okay. But the next year, I dressed up as Red Hood, and Zachary Levi was there. He had just got cast as Shazam. And he's I'm 6'2", so I'm usually taller than everybody else, but he was taller than me. I think he's like 6'4". But he was drunk singing Newsies, walking down Jim Lee's patio, and we're talking, and he's just belting Newsies, and I shake his hand and congratulate him on being Shazam. And he doesn't even miss a beat. He just looks at me and shakes, and he keeps singing. So, we're having a good time. So those are the people that I think of when I think of DC.
Yeah.
And these characters are so strong, and so many creative people have done wonderful things with them in the past.
Yeah.
If there's something that really stands out to people that I can't recommend enough, it's the Harley Quinn animated show.
I put that in my queue. I got HBO Max. I put that straight in there.
It's 10 out of 10. It's made by Paul Dini and the other people that made the animated series.
Sweet. What's up, John?
So, just think about the people that made the animated series such a classic. Well, they're doing it for today's generation, and these jokes are so good, bro. I mean, I still laugh.
I'm just there because it's mature-rated.
Yeah, I can't recommend Harley Quinn enough. It's phenomenal.
So all the other DC shows on there, which one's your favorite? You got Doom Patrol, you got Titans. Is there one more? A Stargirl or something like that?
Yeah, I haven't seen Stargirl.
Okay.
Doom Patrol, I've watched the first 6 episodes of the first season, and I really like it. I just haven't had a chance to go back and finish it, but I've heard nothing but good things on the rest of season 1 and season 2.
Okay,
so,
for Doom Patrol. Okay.
For Doom Patrol, yeah.
Okay.
So that's another recommend for me.
Did you watch Titans?
I haven't watched Titans, and I'm gonna be real upfront with everybody here.
Okay.
The reason why, I really wanted to play Dick Grayson, and I was campaigning a bit to audition for the role, had some ideas, and through my contacts, they're like, well, we like some of your ideas. Let's maybe talk to the animation department. I was like, okay, cool. Let's go down that route. And then I saw Titans and then the casting and stuff. I was like, fuck, I'm not going to get any movement on Nightwing Dick Grayson if they've already cast this guy and they're doing this show. So I was like, fuck, man, shit. My Dick Grayson was going to be taking down corrupt pedophilia ring.
Oh,
and,
shit.
All
right.
Having he's not talking to Bruce. I mean, they're not like fighting. He just Dick's trying to find his own way, but he's struggling with how he was raised and looking at your childhood when you're in your 30s compared to when you're a child, and his parent, the trauma and suffering, and then dealing with that with men that are now in their 30s that were abused, and them coming to Dick Grayson saying, I don't know what to do. This happened years ago. And so it's like him trying to work outside the system to try to get justice for this people. It's a bit of
interesting.
What's that film that Ben Affleck directed? Gone Baby Gone. It was like Gone Baby Gone type gritty shit.
Okay.
Yeah. And Dick's like pissed at Bruce and other billionaires that could have done more, and they haven't. Beating up criminals isn't the way. So that's where I was going with it. DC had other ideas, which is fine, because what happens is you take some of the ideas that you like, you see if you can change the character's name, you see if you can change some of the scenarios, and I did, and so now I'm working on a pitch for The Question, which is a DC character. Yeah, which is old school DC. And, he's still fighting white-collar criminals, but he's using shamanistic psychedelics for truth serums, and he's able to see shit through the multiverse to investigate crimes and to take down these white-collar bastards.
That would be kind of cool, man.
So I reached out to Jim Lee. I said, Jim, I have the pitch ready whenever you're ready. And he said, what character, what city? I said, Hub City, The Question.
Okay.
And he's supposed to get back to me whenever after he talks to the DC folks. Who knows when that will be, but that's one of the things that I have in the fire that I'm trying to get made. And I have a trailer that I want to make and all this shit.
Nice.
Even if it doesn't get made and I can't do it, keeping that fire alive helps me be a better storyteller, So there's an exclusive for you.
Do it, brother. I support you.
Thanks.
Movie Dojo Army support. It sounds cool, dude.
But you know what's funny in this business now is that having a spec script's really important. But what they also look at is how many Twitter followers you have, how many YouTube subscribers you have. I'm like, shouldn't the story come first? And it should. But in other cases, they're looking at that shit too. Wow. So that's how it works. That's the name of the game.
Keep fighting the good fight, my brother.
Oh, thank you, man. Well, thank you for having opportunities like this to share some time with your wonderful audience and to grow this together.
Oh, we're not done, bro. We got 10 more hours.
We're just saying highs. And
10 more hours. No, I'm kidding.
10 shit.
I was actually getting
ready to wrap
it up. I was actually getting ready to wrap it up.
Well, I want to check back and chat one more time and see if they had any other questions or thoughts on the films.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there. Yeah, people were saying Harley Quinn show's hilarious. Alan 123.
Yeah,
Clayface is amazing. He's played by Alan Tudyk.
Oh shit, Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk plays Clayface and the Joker, and I had no idea he played both characters until after season 2. He's that good as the Joker. Yeah.
Wow.
Because he's also in Doom Patrol. And he plays somebody in Doom Patrol. I was like, wow, he kind of sounds like the Joker from Harley Quinn. Does he? No fucking way.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's like Alan Tudyk got a contract to build the DC universe / HBO Max. Yeah. The Boys, Kid Falbo mentioned The Boys. That's a great show. I've seen both,
I love it. Love that show.
Both seasons.
Yeah, I enjoy it. But yeah, man, I gotta wrap it up. Don't go anywhere though when we end the stream.
Sure.
Thanks again, chat, the Movie Dojo Army, the badasses. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us tonight on the newest Is It Really That Bad episode. Pandorum and Underwater survived. Joshua Gray put his stamp on it. He recommends you guys check out the movies as well. Thanks again for the likes, the shares, and if you're new here, thanks for subscribing. And stay tuned. Me and Josh, we're going to talk a little bit later. We'll be doing future episodes
for sure.
This was too much fun, man. You had me crying tonight. I was literally crying. I had to take my glasses off, laughing so hard. So
this film needs more goddamn tears from people. Subscribe to Mr. Joshua Gray's channel. We'll call it the hold on maneuver, then we'll have the guy from Lord of the Rings mention in the third movie. They'll be like, no, it's a 1 in a million shot. That's the biggest thing Fhat says.
God damn it, man. Who the fuck approved this shit, dude? Accountability. Somebody asked in the chat, what film's more entertaining between the two? I said they're both wonderful and entertaining, man. Yeah. Just pick one per night.
Yeah.
Pick one per night.
Yeah. But thanks again, guys, for hanging out. And Josh will be doing this again. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow it's Post-Apocalyptic Day.
Ooh.
Head over to Mr. Tony of the Dead's channel at 3 p.m. Me and him are going to be discussing Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. Is it really that bad? And then that same night, a little bit later tonight, come back to my channel at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And we're continuing Post-Apocalyptic Day. And we're going to talk about a movie called Damnation Alley. Yes, I've never seen this, but is it really that bad? So come hang out tomorrow. We'll see you guys then. Peace out. Have a good one.